Maybe. The interesting thing is, normally when you look at something cooking, it's when you have a lot of prep time on a map. They won't have had that, right?
No.
Because it would have been the previous matchup that would be most circled on their calendar, the matchup to make it into ESL Pro League. That's where they'd be trying to do as much as possible. And I'm kind of curious for what kind of picture we're going to get here on Inferno. If Wildcard can provide a strong resistance here, that would be phenomenal for the chances in this series. But it's really going to be Dust2, I suspect, where we get our questions answered. Still, there's nothing like getting a head start on your homework. So Wildcard going to try and find the test answers here on Inferno instead.
Yeah, and I mean, yesterday I kind of doubted Wildcard on Nuke, a map that Nouns are very good on, but they managed to hang in there, go toe-to-toe with Nouns, ended up having a big lead against Nouns, I think on every single map, but then let it slip away. Nouns climbed back into it, which is good for Nouns, showing that resilience, but in the end, Wildcard were able to match them and then overcome them on maps that, like Nuke, that they weren't comfortable on necessarily. So we could see something special from Wildcard here, and I think that emotionally they're on a high.
Vibes are good. Can vibes win you a Counter-Strike game? Time to find out. Can't save Grizz. Do not protect from getting shot in the head, and Mobs is going to show exactly why. Casting my mind back to the previous Inferno matchup between these two teams, going all the way back to the winners bracket final, I seem to remember a lot of rounds where Mobs just walked into B and headshot two people, and then they won.
Yes, you are correct. And Mobs was the top frag overall in that series with 52 frags. And on Inferno, top of the board, 25 with 146.6 ADR and a 2.34 rating. It was his best map, Mike. So you're recalling absolutely correctly.
So here's the first test. I don't care about how Wildcard's going to stack up against the whole team. I need them to stop Mobs from walking into B.
Yeah.
That's what I need. If you can show that you can consistently do that, then we can entertain the discussion of what Inferno is going to look like.
Indeed.
The antidote, of course, would be to take aggressive banana control. The problem is that's hard to do until you get the nades up. And they're going to start behind economically, having lost the pistol.
And even, well, I mean, even if you take aggressive banana control, Mobs can still wrestle it out of your hands.
Sure.
So you have to be very cautious about how you approach that. I think it's also in the pacing of the utility, right, for Wildcard, because a lot of the times M80 are just going to wait for that early salvo to be thrown. So if you change the timing up a little bit, maybe try to catch them off guard and throw it a little later, that might help you out. But even if you take that risk, then they might charge up and then they'll be in your face before you have a chance to even execute that. So it's always, a bit of a gamble if you want to make the adjustment in terms of timing there. Anyway, M80 are going to buy up the rifles. They're going to have an AK, 3 Galils, and the MAC-10 over on Wildcard. Nada. Only upgrade here is a 5.7, and Slight getting the body armor as well, which is weird because he's the opper. You'd think he'd want to save a little bit more than the rest of his team, but that's how it played out here.
Sin wanting to create some space. Oh, gets collapsed upon. That was really quite awkward from Sin. Probably not going to cost them the round. If they just funnel in towards B, it'll be very comfortable. But definitely caught off guard, and Slacks doesn't want to be the next to fall. He will be. They're giving up his gun.
Wow.
They're giving up his gun. This is getting interesting. Galil found.
Wait, what?
And they're just going to save this, it seems.
Why did they trade? Okay. Because Slight had the body armor, I thought he would stick with the rifle, right? But
presumably the idea is because he has the body armor, he's trying to get a little bit of extra money to potentially get an op.
Yeah, maybe.
So they're going to let him hunt with the MAC-10.
Makes sense.
They're not going to want to buy the MAC-10 in the next round, and because he bought armor here, he actually really needs a kill to make his money ideal. So he's going to try and bait an exit.
Yeah, that checks out. Swisher.
They funneled his way
down towards bottom of banana. Yeah, they're going to be able to maybe get out. Yeah, there it is. Nice headshot from Malty. He's just too good. Just too good, man. Slight gets nada, and Stanislav will at least save the Galil. Yeah, was going to say, based on that logic, if you're going for the save, totally makes sense to try and get him the SMG so he can make up the money for the armor.
The
but
problem is,
if they're going for
the most valuable thing.
Makes sense, right?
He had the vest. He had the armor. That's actually useful going into this round. And now you've sent him to his death, so no armor saved through. I don't know. It's a little interesting.
It's, yeah, you can look at it multiple ways. But
not so sure I agree with their math. But, you know, they were convinced. Not going to make a huge difference into this round. He wouldn't have been able to afford an op anyway. Oh, Slacks has caught him through the corner. Numbers equalized. Stand was still waiting in case it was a double back, in case it was a little bit of a bait. So now JBA might need to wait for his captain to get in position to help him out on this retake. Oh, Sin won't give him the opportunity. There's the fight taken early on, and now it's all just Stand. A reposition to deal with the Molotov, and Slacks takes the fight while he's got util in hand. 4 put together for Slacks. That's a hell of a recovery.
Doesn't need the op on his side to do the job. Quad kill comes through for Slacks, dealing all the damage necessary to take care of Wildcard, who had a very hot start. And that's something that Wildcard, once they get going in that direction, it's hard to really put them down. And credit to Slacks for finding the trades he needed to get that space into the B site, and then afterwards chasing one down to even out the numbers at a 2v2. Well done, M80. I'm going to take that 3-0 lead. Stanislaw immediately gone. The rifle doesn't do anything. Maybe it'll be recovered. It is by slight. Right now, M80 are doing what they did previously against Wildcard on that map, and that is just asserting full control and giving them very little to work with.
I feel like they're going to try and just hide this gun into the next round. They're leaving Grizz with it. No, Grizz is rotating. Okay, so this strategy is if they go B, roll over. Oh, hang on. Sonic is cooking. He's got some extra guns. He's salvaging weapons now, smuggling these on over. And while this B control is being taken, now there's reinforcements coming from the other site. This is a lot more meat to it. And trying to hunt up the gun and trying to keep it out of their hands, Switcher actually gave them more, and it's big trouble on now. Okay, first player found. That's a nice one. But the swing on out through the smoke. Still Mobs collects. The spam is good.
No.
He follows it back, and a clutch. He's only got 15 points of health, John. How's he gonna play this? Pick your spot well on the smoke fade. JBA's got him.
Oh, wow. What a brawl there towards B. JBA in the 1v1 ends up picking right. I was questioning throwing the smoke that early in that situation. Maybe should have waited a little bit longer, you know, held the site, spotted out the player. I know the HP was low, so that's probably difficult to actually wait until you spot someone to throw your utility, but, you know, happens. And he went for a little bit of a risk and couldn't pull it off. Wildcard get their first on a board in a round where, honestly, we weren't necessarily expecting it. Now they're going to get an AK out of that round from JBA. 2 A1Ss, an A4, and an AWP. Wildcard, 2 players towards A, 3 towards B. A heavy lean in this direction, going for that aggressive B banana control that we kind of alluded to earlier on in the pregame. Nade's going to sail back forward. Mob's already up. Mob's already through. They have no idea. They're pincered in. Mobs collects 1. It's chaos, pandemonium, and M80 have already gotten 3 scalps.
Oh, and Slight can't hit a shot here. Oh, it's a nightmare scenario.
Jeez.
That's going to haunt him. Last player spotted. He's got the bomb potentially isolated. This is the way he wins if it was going to happen, but no. Swishers are ready to deal with it. They finally cracked through M80 and immediately M80 rebound. It's like back to B. Back to the straightforward take. They can't stop us.
That's unbelievable. Truly unbelievable from M80. A timeout's going to be called here. This is of technical nature, I believe.
Right,
so we have something going on. Don't see any disconnects.
Hold on.
Don't have any information.
Let me go in the deets.
Oh,
there's the DC. We'll disconnect, reconnect. Hopefully a quick one. As we now have double sins. We are out of slacks. We are struggling under the weight of our sin. Fortunately, if you're M80, I think there's someone who can absolve you of it. Saint Mobs.
Mobs is unreal. Like I don't understand how he's hit this stride, and it doesn't seem like anyone can really slow him down. Sure, he has his off maps, but overall in a series, he's the biggest threat that M80 has. and that's on a team that is actually kind of stacked in terms of skill.
It is, on the subject of, I know I'm making these religious parallels, but on the subject of rebirth, it does feel like Mobs has gone back to, like, rookie Mobs, where he was just headshotting the entire ECL on Team 1 when he first came up. And made the jump from Infinity. I actually, oh my goodness, I just pulled his player profile. He's 21. Mobs is only 21.
That's insane. I feel
He's
like
been competing since, has it really only been since 2019? I mean, I guess that's 5 years at this point. God, where does time keep going?
It still feels like a lot. Like, it feels like he should be older, given that it's been 5 years, right? But these guys start so
young, man.
Yeah, they are.
Actually ridiculous when you consider that Sin 22, Rec 20, Mobs 21. Swisher and Slacks, the old men of the roster, at 25 apiece. This is such a young team.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just a little manic. We're good. We're good. We're fine.
It's a little scary when you hear that. Though. Like, whoa, what is happening? Yeah, just a match medic, as Mike said.
All good. All good.
Yeah, we're good. Wow. I mean, I think Wildcard need a medic, though, after that previous round, because M80 just tore on through them, shattering them with bullets. And Wildcard do have the op in Slight's hands, and he connects on the shot on Wreck. I thought he might have missed that, but no, he's good.
Oh, boy.
And has to run through the Molotov, takes so much damage afterwards, so it's something that he gains. Maybe he'll rotate over to the B site off of that, and he's going to need to, because Mobs, again, another headshot, another frag onto B.
Oh, no. Here's the thing, right? At this point, no one has armor. And the one player who does have armor is going to die if he takes any kind of firefight in Slight. So this is... Slight needs to first bullet everybody in the server. Fortunately, he's got the gun for it. Pressure on both sides. Still a minute. Plenty of time. Swisher's starting to bring that fight and find what he's looking for.
Yeah, I think Swisher's trying to pull that op back towards the A site.
They're taking towards B. This is the one place where things could go wrong.
It's true.
They've got mollies, though. If a molly goes into dark, Slight's going to melt. There it is. Gotta bail. Gotta bail. Round the corner. Mobs hits the shot. He ain't missing. He is not missing. I mean, there's nothing to save, so Grizz is going to give this some sort of desperate attempt. He might catch the bomb. Oh, well, there's the spot. There's the shot. And whatever hope there was of disrupting this round is fast fading away.
Yeah, Slacks is lined up for the peak here. JBA, I think he's just playing for exits. He might pop out.
If you look at Swisher, Swisher's actually just gone to go find Rek's gun and make sure that JBA doesn't have it.
Yeah, that's
But
wild.
it's down on the dirt, and so Swisher's perfectly happy to guard this.
I love the details. Little things make a huge difference in the grand scheme of things, but yeah, good for Swisher to guard this gun.
Okay, he died backside. I was going to say, if he died forward, there's a possibility the bomb yeets the op into JBA's arms. Unfortunately for him, that's not going to be the case, and, well, they're watching. They're waiting. They don't actually need to fight him here. Well, Mobs, he wants numbers.
Does he live? Yes. Okay. Well.
Actually, an interesting detail from earlier today. So you mentioned that M80 actually dropped the series to NRG, right?
That's right.
Afterwards, this is not NRG's fault, but Graham Messioso Pitt, the GM of Complexity, retweeted a Mobs interview from Dallas where he said they were on the same footing as Complexity.
What?
It was a cheeky retweet. He might have undone it since then. I think he's undone it since then. But he hit him with a cheeky retweet.
Yeah.
And Mobs definitely saw that because he tweeted
I saw the tweet from Mobs. I didn't know that was the context.
GMs are retweeting my interviews after we lose one series. So I think Mobs is a little ticked off here.
I can imagine. That's so unnecessary. I didn't know the context of who exactly did the tweet, but I saw what Mobs said. That's crazy. There's Mobs coming out. Oh my goodness. You don't want to light a fire under him?
No,
especially if you
face
face him in the future.
Why, bro?
Yeah.
Why did you do that? Why? Oh, hold on.
No.
Sustained fire. Stan does take Mobs out of play, at least. And look at the damage he's done on the Sin. It's not bad by any measure. Oh, Swisher in the tight corner. I don't think is Slight gonna clear it. He does. He does. Good awareness. So this is a good situation for Wildcard now.
Yeah, Swisher had his head on a swivel there. I think he was expecting someone to aggress from lane instead, but ends up being arch side. Good clear from Slight, of course. Maybe if Swisher was holding that angle a little more aggressively, could have hit it, but nope. Yep, Rex going to walk out here into a fight with JBA, and Slight being on the site could support very effectively, but all three M80 players are pincering in.
It's the mini pit player. The MP9 is just not the gun for this range. But Rek into Moto is a big problem. He's clearing out angles. They're both tucked up. When do they activate? Rek looking for this fight. When does he spot the mini pit player? Oh, he's revealed. He's caught out. Shot missed, at least initially, but the second not so much. And Slacks can't get into cover. That's a really nice hold. M80 kind of losing themselves in that round, I would say, a little bit.
Yeah. I think that they just continued their pathing towards the B site. They probably would have been fine. Just continue to take that fight and overload the last player that was there, but instead they deviate themselves towards A. Swisher gets caught in a tough spot, and I mean, once Swisher goes down, you might want to be like, okay, let's just go back to B and take that, but instead they walk into what is a very much more difficult site to take, and JBA did good work with the MP9.
I don't mind the overall process, because the idea is, hey, they got a kill here, they might shift the numbers over to the other, and so we might run into a stack if we shift sites right now. The problem is just sort of the timing of it. I think they were trying to hold utility as long as possible to avoid giving up the queues. But in doing so, they put themselves in some really tough spots for fights. So, just small details. Big detail, though, is Mobs has once again killed the side anchor, and the second, and the round's over.
What the hell?
This is a great bailout option for M80. They go, hey, we lost a round. Mario, go kill.
And it's always a banana. Like, it's...
This is turf, man. We are in round 8. He has 13 kills. And he's even flashing for Swisher to get further. Oh my goodness. Yeah, just walk the smoke on him. Why not? Maybe a bit too far. But taking the guns out of their hand is a valuable prospect.
Need to be careful. Money's not exactly great on their side either, but certainly a hunt can be afforded by one more player. Slight catches off Mobs trying to retreat. It seems like the only time they can kill him is when he's trying to get away from a bomb plant. Although I say that, they did kill him on the front lines in the previous one and get that second round. But right here, it's got to hurt immensely for Wildcard in terms of their confidence, where they win a round, it feels like they did a good job holding the fort, and then immediately Mobs just gets sent out, finds 2 frags, B is lost, and the round is already over before they can even blink.
I'm just picturing after every one of those rounds, Horvy's raising his fist in the air. Messioso! No, I mean, the thing is, Balls was doing it to them last game as well.
Yeah,
he is just a nightmare. And I think Banana particularly suits him because it's like... It's almost like putting blinders on as a fragger. There's limited angles that can be held. And so the clearing headshotting brain is just full force.
Yeah.
It's over towards A this time. Oh, clear back in. Big trouble for Slight. If he goes down, they are in a bad spot. And Mobs is through towards long. Speaking of bad spots, this A defense is going to be in trouble. Sonic coming back to try and reinforce, but they're already so far forward, he might just get caught. And yeah, he has no idea.
Oh,
Slight's not going to be able to hit that shot. Mobs has found JBA. Slight's in a world of hurt. Sonic able to find 2. Oh my goodness, Sonic. He keeps Slight away alive for the moment. Slight can capitalize. It's all falling apart. M80 have got stoppered here. They had everything. The world on a string. And now it is just Slacks, and he'll get nothing.
What a play.
That's a disaster.
Yeah, but Sonic, huge credit to him. They were watching libraries, so like, oh, all right, I'm just going to pitch in. He saves his Opper's life and gives Slight enough time to connect on a shot afterwards. That's fantastic support and spam through the smoke, but you are absolutely correct, Mike. Unacceptable for M80 by their standards to let something like that happen. They should have been watching it. Instead, they're all focused in on trying to get to that bomb site. It was weird. Great work from Sonic, though.
It feels like a similar situation that they had on A previously, which is just they're holding their nades so long that you don't have a smoke in towards library, that you're so isolated into this fight. Did JBH just get spotted by Rek?
Sonic did.
Nope, but Sonic will be. And the footsteps from JBA, definitely a tip-off now. So a 5v4 established early. This was your chance to build back into this half wild card, and you're in a 5v4 off rip.
It's just, it seems like M80, as soon as they lose a round, they just try to immediately aggress. Although I take that back, because Wildcard were the ones getting out into alt mid, and Sonic didn't realize that someone was already waiting there. So perhaps it would have been better to be a little patient on the Wildcard side and hang back. Oh my goodness. Is he going to stop? Are you going to stop, Mobs? Like,
No.
holy...
No, he will not.
It's gone.
Shutting simulator continues. There's 2 players over here. If they realize they should just hit A fast. There's the oh, now they know there's 2. Now they know there's 2. They should just leave. They absolutely should just leave. Swisher tip of the spear. It's big trouble on for JBA. Slight's trying to rally to support, but they're already so far forward. This time the smoke goes up for Library. This should not be as easy for Slight to get stuck back in. He's going to have to take a risk, and now with JBA dead, he's going to have to save.
What a terrifying setup that M80 eyed there towards Pit. 3 players just waiting, all laser focused on that spot. And as soon as the player peeks out, JBA, all he sees is bullets.
It dictates, you know, how many resources you have to command over towards B, right? Because most teams, if you're in a 3-on-4 in that kind of a situation, you're probably trying to anchor B with just 1 and use utility to stall that out. And then you're probably playing the 2 towards A harder site to hold in terms of angles that you have to cover. But because of how much Mobs has been punishing them, they're bringing the op and the rifle over to play together. And so then as soon as M80 realize, even though they lose Mobs, it was a 5-on-3, by the way, so even harder. But as soon as they lose Mobs, it's like, okay, well, just hit A. It's maximum 1 guy.
No, it was a fantastic read, honestly, and they just realized immediately how many players were towards that B site, and that was it. So, yeah, Mobs, even when he gets traded, he still provides something for his team. Yeah, it's true.
It's what this top crust of players command, which is just that you have to. To me, what separates a good player from a superstar is a superstar, you have to be aware of where they are on the map at all times. Even when they're not at the center of the play, even if they're not, you know, even if you're able to neutralize them, what they do dictates what other people can. And that's what Mobs is doing on Inferno right now. Wildcard have to be ready for him on Banana every round. Even if the rest of the team is coming up mid, you have to be aware that Mobs might just be making his way out B.
And I think the tough part is, you know, they're trying to win the utility battle early on in the round, but I mean, they're just waiting. And then afterwards, they send Mobs right in, and he's in front of them, right in their faces, and the utility does nothing. And then even if they were to delay it, sometimes he mixes it up and charges up immediately. It's so tough for them to get a read on it. And you're right, they just have to counter it with manpower. And in that case, you leave the A site way more vulnerable, which we just saw. It's a huge lead for M80. Honestly, it could be bigger. The only reason that Wildcard have 3 is because M80 made mistakes.
Yeah, and you're seeing it dictate how Wildcard are trying to play as well, because one of the other ways you can counter is by shrinking the map over on the A side. That's why you're seeing like Sonic try and make the aggressive play out of apartments, because they're trying to have impact early on before they potentially lose B control, because then that'll allow them to either shift numbers over or to threaten the flank much earlier. It forces a lot of things. It forces riskier behavior around the map when you have this glaring weak point that you can't solve, when you have this problem that you don't seem to have a solution for. It's tough. It's tough, to say the least. But it is the problem for Wildcard, and it's why M80 keep picking into Inferno against them, is they can't hold Banana.
Yeah, it seems like other teams are able to counter that and have some more effective players that can deal with Mobs towards Banana in particular when they're on Inferno. But yeah, Wildcard just doesn't seem to have that answer right now, and don't have enough reps on the map, it seems, to really have a good grasp on that. So maybe pushing down mid. Like you talked about taking aggression towards balcony and alt mid, but I think just a straight up push down mid might help them out, and just tossing some util, some nades directly forward and putting a ton of pressure on M80 could delay them from getting to Banana and even allow you to get so much map control that they won't have the luxury of trying to get up mid without a fight.
It's a potential solution.
Yeah.
Here the changeup stands. Well, no, this is pretty default. They get aggressive in the apartments again. They're forward into this angle. So nothing too wild here. But let's see, there's only 2 rounds left in this half.
I think they're just not fighting now. They're just not going to fight him.
Well, Rex tried to get in a bedroom a couple times, so they could potentially punish that. Yeah, they're giving him no duel over on towards Banana. Just waiting with some stall-out utility, but with the smoke on towards flower plots, you'd imagine they're going to come right through, especially as they've now seen where that smoke came from. He's already passed it. Spam's no good. Player new box. Did he DC?
I don't know.
I'm going to say Grizz DC'd there. Either that or he was really waiting with an aid with one specific lineup in a compromised position.
I think it was just the peak. Maybe it was compromised. Anyway, Slight is going to get the frag onto Rec. 4v2 in favor of M80. JBA and Slight, they got to save, Mike. This round is already over. Again, opening frag found by Malbs onto that site towards the new box player, Grizz, who just seemed like he was a deer in headlights, or he was disconnected. I think it was just a deer in headlights. He didn't have a chance to really react to that peak. And sometimes in CS2, the peaks come so fast, it really doesn't feel like you have an opportunity to react.
Just trying to run the guns down. There's one last round. No sense saving. They need both these rifles to get a goodbye going. But they seem like they're going to be able to hang on to them. That's a nice find at the very least. So they'll be able to put together something in this final round. We didn't have a Grizz disconnect, reconnect, so he seems to be alright.
He just caught off guard completely.
One last round to answer the question, how do we stop Malbs? 3 players here towards B initially. They've got the util to maybe finally do something about this. Malbs catches a nade early on. They're throwing out some nadeage.
Okay.
They've got the kill in apartments. Rec has not had the best time of it this half as the A lurker. Oh, is there a molly for this? Is there a molly for this? He's actually overlooked it. They've completely overlooked it. That's M80 not being buttoned up on their util. Stan might be dead, but no, Sin caught the flash just as much. So they're going to be able to get the smoke down. They've solved the problem. They killed Malbs. The trick was to have him looking the wrong way.
Yeah, there's still the nades available here. I think they're probably going to deploy one to pop the smoke. No? I mean, that would be a pretty good play here, and they get visibility. There you go. Popping the smoke. They're charging on forward. Swisher gets one onto Sonic. Stanislaw hiding in the smoke. Does nothing either. Tech 9 frag from Slacks. 3v2 edge gained by M80, even without Malbs getting a frag.
They've tried that cheeky position right on the edge of smoke a couple of times, and unfortunately, I think they've been checked both times. Now it's just on to JBA. Look, we highlighted him as a potential difference maker here. This would be a tremendous round. He won't even get started. Wow. 9 on the board. M80 dominant as we head to the half. back into the fun here. M80 and Wildcard. Wildcard not having so much fun.
No.
Distinctly no fun. Malbs, a lot of fun.
Lots of smiles for Malbs, I'm sure. As he's doubled up on anyone else in terms of frags on Wildcard. Like, they are not having a good time.
He's thinking, can't spray me with a water bottle now.
I forgot that happened, Mike.
Yeah, that was these two teams. Warden no longer with them over on the Wildcard side, but I'm sure there's still a little extra motivation here for Mobs. Slacks doesn't need any extra motivation to find two nice, crispy headshots. He's down for the count, but there's still this crossfire established, and Wildcard seem very willing to test it. Sin trades out JPA. That's the bomb dropped in apps, so if there was any doubt that this bomb was headed A, there isn't any more. And it is just Slight, who's got a slight chance of doing anything about this round. Never mind.
Oh, I wish we had his headshot percentage, man. Like, it must be out of this world again, the same as it was last time.
If anyone, you know, is picking Mobs in HLTV Fantasy ever, do the headshotter.
Yeah, over the last month, and that's the 43 maps I mentioned earlier, 63% headshot percentage.
That's like you would think he were cheating.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You see a guy with 63% after top fragging in your matchmaking game, and you are calling cheats. I don't even care what he's done. You're just calling it. You're calling it. No, but it's just the Mario effect.
And also, we just got confirmation from production, 77% headshot percentage right now.
That's actually stupid. That is just stupid. That feels not okay. Stan gonna get some headshots of his own off of the Tech 9, and now it's major pressure on towards the A defense. Oh no!
How does that happen?
Swisher's just made a hash of it with the FAMAS. This could still be recoverable, but Sin's run down. Rex locked out. This is a disaster.
Mob's still alive. Mob's still alive. Stan's low.
Done. It ain't done. Oh boy. Oh boy. Did he spot him? He did now. He's been tagged up. Mobs runs out of bullets. He would have had it, but he runs out of bullets, and Slight will triumph.
2 HP. 1 bullet away.
That might have been the difference between this map being over or not.
Absolutely. Yeah, Wildcard get a lifeline there. With a 4th round picked up. Very sloppy defense from M80. And I mean, honestly, even the spray control was a little bit rough on their side with the FAMASs. The FAMAS can be a very difficult beast to tame at times. So, still, their positioning was very off, and Wildcard exposed that significantly. Malb's always a threat, and you saw it there, just short of clutching it out. Only thing that stopped him is running out of bullets, and Malb's got a deagle now. Another headshot onto Grizz. JVA down to 24, and this round is certainly on. The force buy for M80 is already yielding fruit.
Molotov to clear some space. Control being taken up here. Bomb hasn't committed any which way. Playing 2-2 towards either side to try and make some space. Oh, the smoke could set up a B-split quite nicely, but the boost up over it's cheeky. Flax is waiting. He's got the tag. No kill just yet, but they're backed off. Nade pop. Ooh, doesn't have the kill. Now Swisher's on the angle, so Sonic gonna be spotted, gonna be collected. So that prong of the assault is done, and they've been locked out of B, at least initially. Time's gonna start to become an issue. You'd love to have the scout on this line, but now they got the information. They have to go. They're getting funneled in towards Banana. Oh boy, this is looking tough. Gotta shoot your way out. They're getting stalled out every which way. Now they know the flank is on. Gotta go forward. And it's all falling to Stan, and he is run on down. The force buy works, and not only works, they only lose 1 man.
And they get the upgrades as well. 3 rifles carried out of that round. Economic foundation gained. Momentum restored. 11th round picked up. They only need 2 more, and this one's over. That is, again, heart-wrenching for Wildcard, who cannot seem to win 2 rounds in a row and string some rounds together. They keep getting isolated by M80. And, I mean, in that one, it's Malbs, who else, right, to kick off the fragging. Gets his 21st frag. And he is just rolling along. It's not only headshots, right? It is the opening frag stat that continues to pile up. It's unreal how much space he gives this team. Rek, probably wise to move out of Boiler there because everyone seemed to be coming his direction. He gets the headshot on Stan. Spots out the players out of apartments. He has to back off here, so it might be a retake, yeah.
They need to cross the bomb out of pit. They've got a smoke. There's a gap. Oh, but Grizz has now walked out of Boiler. That's massive. That's a massive play from Grizz. I might have just given them a chance. Bomb's going to be down. They do lose a number through the smoke, so advantage M80, but not a ton of retake util. Just a couple flashbangs. So this could get messy. This could be very messy indeed. Nothing to clear out the pit. That's going to be Grizz in there with the AK. He's a critical piece. First flashbang in. Grizz traded out 1 for 1. Now it's all just a sight, jumping around corners, mobs and Sin. Keep it under control. Plenty of time on for the defuse. Rifles can be claimed, and it is map point for M80.
It's just ridiculous. It's just absolutely hilarious that Mobs can just do whatever he wants, it seems, and get headshots and rack up the frags. I mean, jumping through the air with the MAC-10, which honestly you should always do because it's so accurate when you're in midair that you end up getting frags anyway. And here, that was a great play from Grizz. I mean, we've got to talk about it more because it gives them a huge chance. But even better on the trade is Malbs, and then he gets the last onto Slight to wrap up the round. But it's just a great setup from M80, sacrificing one to ensure that the second would be able to take care of that pit player because they don't have the util to flush him out, so they just have to rely on good trades. 12-4, M80 will need one more, and they already got one frag into the round. Slight staring into the distance, and well, the only thing he spots out is an op bullet coming straight for his face. Sonic pushing out towards mid. He's got the smoke in front of him. Grizz also a little isolated at Banana. Wildcard, I mean, they don't have the greatest buy here as well. It's only pistols for potentially their last round of play here on Inferno.
I've at least got the util set to go for one proper take. I can choose to bring that over towards A. Oh, the collat shot hit. Lucky that wasn't 2 kills in 1. There's the second followed up. Yes, an op can be claimed, but they paid a heavy penalty to get their hands on it. Grizz and Stan, desperation now, looking for somebody to give them a fight, and there's no Molotov to force out the pit engagement. It's going to be a play through smoke for Stan, it seems, on the fade. And Swisher thinking about the timeliness of this wrap. I haven't spotted anything. It's all about this double pit setup. First one seen. Grizz in short, awkward angle to take this off fight. 25 seconds. They gotta go. There's Grizz. Gets the first.
Oh, wow.
Does he expect a second player in pit? No. Sin drops it. And with the bomb drop, there's the follow-up. It's all over. 13 rounds to the 4 of Wildcard. It's not Wildcard. There we go.
Yeah, we got it.
Win the map in a dominant fashion.
That was unbelievable. Even with a pretty wicked op shot, honestly, coming through from Grizz towards the end there. It's just not enough. I mean, M80 had done too much damage prior to that point, and they closed.
Kills. Actually, I can go back and check. 18 kills, actually. So a 1.91 rating for the Opper. He went 18 and 8. 122 ADR. Only 7 ADR as an Opper behind mobs. Like, if you're looking at how you're going to win a Dust2 game, your Opper hitting is good. Your Star Rifler hitting pretty dang good. It's just, we're going to need to see a world of difference for Wildcard. I expect that we're going to see a world of difference from Wildcard. Is the thing. They had no answer to the fundamental truth of Inferno, which is that they couldn't hold B. And if you can't hold B on that map, you're going to have a bad time. So let's hope they can do it here. They're going to be tested. We're going to B.
Oh my god. And they only have one there. Okay.
Now that's Dust2, baby. 3 players rotating in, but smoke's up on the door. Grizz is not long for this world. That's by
nice
1,000 paper cuts. Mob's headshot, though. That's the way to do it. This bomb will be planted. That can't be denied, and there's now no retake utility to get past these choke points. They're rotating 3 into tunnels. They've got a kit, though. Problem is, this is not a secret. Rek knows. Rek knows they're coming. Well, he sort of committed himself in. He can't get anything out of it. A little bit of an aggro angle, but now on to the next fight. Looking these remaining M80 players do. They can't find the player in the door. This is actually going poorly for them. Now they've been pushed out. The bomb's not planted for them either.
Oh, what a shot.
That's an important kill to find. Just down to Slacks in the clutch. They're going to get on the stick. Does he realize they have a kit? He doesn't realize they have a kit. Slacks, you got to go. You got to go. Bomb's been defused under his nose. Nice retake coming through from Wildcard. What a burst fire to finish off the last two. Why not?
Wow, burst fire not used very often, but Slack showing that it certainly can be effective. Anyway, doesn't matter. Gets 2 frags. I mean, sure, it's a little more money in his back pocket, but Wildcard win that opening round. Nice little retake put on. I mean, even though, like you said, Rek had all that information that 3 players were coming, he was in a very compromised position. So you have to hit your first shot there, and if you don't, you're probably just going to get overrun completely, and that's exactly what happened to Rek. So M80, well, they get the bomb plant, and they say, you know what? Let's force up. Won't be as effective with $600 bomb plant bonus instead of $800, but they still are able to get an AK, a Galil, 2 Deagles, and the Scout. The utility is what takes a bit of a hit now, and you see that because only a couple of smokes and 2 flashes available to them. They're biding their time towards top mid. I think Slacks wants to connect on a shot. He did. Doesn't know it, but Sonic is down to around half health. Stan waiting in such a very dangerous position, but he gets nothing done. He peeks into 4 players.
He thought it was just the Scout, presumably, maybe one other. Mob's going to be cowed early on. That's at least a nice find, but there's certain danger into this round, and then they're going to be very aware of it, intimately aware of it. And in the push-out catwalk, we do leave Long vulnerable, at least for a moment. Grizz looking to get the flank here. This is good positioning for Wildcard. Really strong spots.
Yeah, they got a smoke on site as well to kind of guys off positioning.
No one's watching Grizz.
Yeah.
Sin's coming back to check it, but he's just got a dig, and he's to set up utility. It's all about timing here. Oh, still going to drop, but at least they've got the awareness. At least it's not the full flank onto the long players. Problem is, it does mean that Slacks is going to have to come off of this post-plant position, and now Sonic is causing problems. They have to deal with Sonic if they're going to get this plant out. Rek's looking for headshots. He can't find them. Rifle on for Slacks. Only 10 seconds to cook here, and he's getting forced out of the kitchen.
Well, there might have been something Wildcard saw the last time they played M80. Like we said, they don't have much time to prep because of how much Counter-Strike they've been playing day in, day out. But there must have been something when they played them on Dust2 and lost here. They said, we could have done this better. We could have isolated them better in certain spots. Or maybe they realized their tendencies. Whatever the case may be, these first 2 rounds have been pretty strong from Wildcard. And even on that force buy, M80 didn't really gain the ground they needed, and Wildcard had a perfect read on them. All the players sent over to the A site. Sonic, an opener here. It's just pistols coming through from M80, so probably not too much of a threat. I say that, but Moles is very effective with the Deagle.
That's a nice start. What a graveyard in mid. That is just Mobs and Rek. Certainly, yes, dangerous hands with the Deeg, but a round win. Not really expecting that. Mobs has got a bit of positioning, and it won't matter. Did connect a shot, but it wasn't the head. Clean for Wildcard, and they're wiping the memories of Inferno right out of the memory banks.
Yeah, for sure. And I think one problem yesterday, though, that plagued Wildcard, that was also the case in the matchup against M80, particularly on Anubis, is they had 3, I believe, 5-0, 5-1 leads on every single map, and they gave up those leads every time. It cost them the map the first time. In the last 2 maps, they went to overtime as a result. So I think there's a bit of an issue on the Wildcard side when they get these early leads, how to play off of them that they're struggling with. But we'll see if that happens here. Sin going to get 1, traded out immediately. Nothing doing towards long. Tons of flashes being thrown in both directions. And JBA just waiting here. Swisher doesn't clear the angle at all. M80 looking a little bit lost here.
Yeah, early results have not been promising. Still a lot of work to do. This is sort of the direction that D2 leans right now.
Yeah.
Heavy on for the CTs. But it's a far cry from Inferno, right? Mobs has not been able to get stuck in at all so far. He was the dominant force in that first map. Slacks with the AWP. He'd love to get a chance to actually do something with this since he has it in his hands. With Sonic out at Goose. All about the timing. He finds it perfectly. While Rek will get a little bit of an answer. 1v3, there is a lot of work to do to turn this into a bomb plant. They're actually kind of giving him the possibility. He can't cross all the way through spawn. There's just not enough time for it. So he's going to go to long instead. Slight's a little nervous that he might have slipped this.
There's only 18 seconds left, though.
He's got to go quick. If he headshots the Goose player, hold on. Without that initial kill, he knows there's no time. He's just got to try and save this.
And he won't be afforded that opportunity. JBA is going to chase him down. Now he's trapped, so he's going to try backing in towards long once more. And actually, that was the right play. Because now he forces JBA to chase, and JBA doesn't want to take too much of a risk, even though they've got plenty of cash. I mean, their economy is flowing right now. Wildcard up 4-0 over M80, and one thing I think I'd like to see M80 do a little bit more is go for executes towards mid, because that feels like the soft spot for Wildcard. They continue to go on their rifle rounds into long, and they're losing those battles repeatedly. So let's see, maybe mixing it up, throwing an execute towards mid might solve some of their problems.
Look at the spawns, though. I mean, this is Dust2, right? Spawn-based Counter-Strike.
Oh, yeah.
3 towards B off a rip. Too long. They're going towards one of these spots, and they're going fast. With the weaponry that they're going to have, I feel like the quick B take is always a nice antidote when you got techies in hand. This is, for anyone who's a little newer to Counter-Strike, this is the ultimate spawn-based Counter-Strike map.
Yes.
Especially now that most maps have standardized spawns. D2 does not.
I feel like it adds a nice bit of spiciness to the map, right? But I don't know. Maybe standardized spawns would make Dust2 a little bit better. Yes. I still think it's fun having this, but...
The problem is just if you get the long spawns and you only get them on eco rounds and you don't get them on gun rounds, then you're just... It's too random at this level of play. But they have taken this low in control. Problem is they don't really have the weaponry for a sustained fight here. Sight on the angle with the AWP. Also, key to note, Wildcard have gone towards that double op. Not unexpected. Sonic will be holding court towards the B side with that.
It's one of the few maps in the pool where the double op makes sense because there's so many long range engagements at pretty much every single angle that you take mid, long A or B, there's a chance. Yeah, they've given a lot of space up. That Molotov's going to create some problems for them. Stanislaw manages to spray mobs down through the smoke. Slight hoping to connect on something, but Stanislaw will find a follow-up. The bomb's going to get planted. He dies for it, but I feel like that's worth it.
Well, it'd be if you could get any sort of damage, but you can't.
Oh, yeah, that's
Wildcard are going to be a little annoyed that they let up the plant, but in the grand scheme of things, far from a major problem. Especially when you consider the fact that Rek saved through. They have plenty of money into this one, though, with that bomb plant. But M80, you got to show us something on this T side. It was so dang good on Inferno. Don't let all that momentum fizzle.
Yeah. I feel like now is where they have to make a bit more of a structured play and stop just trying to take the frags, even though, of course, we know Dust2, oftentimes you're just trying to gain advantages by pushing out, flashing long, and hoping that you win that duel with potentially an opera that's waiting on the other side. Smoke's going to be thrown for long corner, and I mean, again, it feels like they're getting swallowed into long, like they're being forced into it, or they feel like they have to go for a fight there every time. Slacks actually waits top mid. Grizz is pushing, and he gets caught. There's another player there. I'm not sure if they're going to expect it. And there's two coming in from lower. Stanislaw actually catches off Mobs, and then they find Swish as well. Such aggressive control of mid from Wildcard in the early goings. That made you don't expect it. They're getting funneled into long, and Slight is waiting there for another one. They can't find an answer.
Not at all. Not at all. D2 is Wildcard's domain. How is Slight not punished for that? Oh my goodness. Finally, he is going to go down. Like, let's see how long I can stand out in the open and make this happen. I mean, look, this is not a bang-on round just yet. Sonic's here with the AWP. Shadow spotted. Oh, just misses the timing. A little bit of an offset, but smoke pop. That's good for it. And so Slack's out of play. Rek has to claim this. Molotov to try and make them uncomfortable, but he has to kill the cat player. And by slipping into Gandalf, Stanislaw should have this lock and key, and he does indeed.
Wow, there's nothing. Nothing going M80's way. And I mean, I like the idea from Wildcard to take that aggressive mid control because you make the map feel so much smaller for M80 because nothing's working towards long. So they kind of guessed, okay, maybe they're going to go to mid, and they absolutely did. They lose the fights there, and then they have to fall back into the angle that has lost them pretty much every single gun round towards long. That's unbelievable. So, I mean, a shift has to happen. They have to change something because Wildcard have all the reads. And again, mid is very much up for the taking. It's up for grabs. But they don't lean into it in the early part of the round. No one's here.
There's the jiggle. Now they know Sonic forced off of it. Here they go. Heavy presence in. Overwhelm the car player. This is looking good now. JPA is in trouble. Coming into support. He's lost Sonic. They might not expect him to be here, but the spam's eventually going to find it. This is a non-starter. A retake with 5 players alive into the B site. This is not an appetizing prospect. And now in towards spawn. It's Sin. What is he holding here? Just a flashbang to get around the corner. They're not going to be looking his way. But let's see what he can do with the Tech 9. Finds the 1. That's probably enough. Stanislaus stuck. Grizz just now trying to get stuck back into this round, and there's not even enough bullets for Stanislaus to finish that kill. Grizz gone. Stan desperation. He's locked on the wrong side of these doors, and M80 will finally get one on the board.
Yeah, that's just Stan realizing, hey, we have a ton of money. I'm going to try and do as much damage as possible and maybe get lucky with a spam through the smoke and connect on a player. But yeah, M80 finally on the board on an eco round with Tech 9s up. They just go and rush B. Sometimes that is the antidote. Simplify things, throw the flashes out, the smokes as well, and it works like a charm. JBA isolate on the site. Like you said, they might not have expected him to be there as a second player, but I mean, eventually spot him out, and the smoke gave them enough cover and enough of an opportunity to clear him out without any damage coming their way. Mollop's already out towards long, by the way, and now he's dead. He got tagged immediately by Slight. Slight had the chaser of a nade, and that finished him off. Nice show. Thought he flicked and hit that, but no. Swisher actually getting dinked by Grizz afterwards and staying alive. Here's that mid flash. They haven't smoked mid to B once, have M80.
Not yet, they haven't.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Hold on, Alper duel. Sonic's not peeking yet. This could be the round. This could be the way they open back up, but Sonic is a savvy customer. Get that smoke on down. Popping it as well, seeing nothing. What's he calling here? They're taking cat control. Sonic's going to go back to readjust to help his teammates out. Harassment nade, not a big deal, and now they're smoked up. They got to go through it. Really tough ask of M80.
Yeah, it's a strong setup from Wildcard. 2-3 players on the A side, although they're leaning more towards long. Swisher's here, but that softens up the A site itself, and if Swisher gets 1, it's great. Swisher manages to duck away. Molotov going to go in. He's probably dead now.
He's dead.
Yeah. All right, well, that's up to the 3 players on Cat, and they can't connect on anything. The double up setup rings true for a couple. Slack's the last one, and he is just tucking away and saving the AWP. Again, M80 try to get into that A site, and it just does not work.
Nice utility pacing coming through from Wildcard. They did a great job just when it felt like M80 might get a little bit of space on towards site. The choke point nades come out onto catwalk. They utterly stall up everything M80 was trying to do. Slacks does not get clocked. But that was nice work coming through. Wildcard are doing a great job of controlling the pacing here on their CT side. And M80 don't have solutions. The only thing they've had success with was the one round where they just hit the gas in towards the B site. Otherwise, it's been real tough for them to even get in a position for a bomb plant.
Well, I mean, they did it twice, right?
Whoa, there's a ripper.
Okay, yeah.
Straight down middle. The boost up. It's the kill. Op striking. And that makes life a lot easier when you got a 5v4. Sonic might have been spotted getting into lower. I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, they actually went up for the all-out push towards B twice. Once in the pistol round and once in that round they just won. And, I mean, I'm surprised they're not doing it more because of how effective it's been, and that's the spot where Wildcard don't really have that strong of a defense here. They know that the player, the Opper, is in lower. They're going to try and pop that smoke around the corners. Malps, he chases down the frag, gets the man advantage, and B is free and clear for the taking once more.
Well, everything's about to be free and clear for the taking if you keep finding these kills.
Oh, yeah.
Stan will try and make his way in. They know they have time. They've got a minute, right? So they can keep the pressure on. Try and force Wildcard to make a move. But as it is, if they actually make this mid play now, Slight is maybe at hand to make a play off of Stan. Okay, Molotov limits his ability to do so. With Swisher not having seen any information play over on the B side, did they just opt to go in towards B? Well, now they will.
The first mid to be smoke thrown by M80 in 9 rounds.
It's in a 4v2.
Yep. Slight, last one standing. This round is done. He's just going to try and save. It's a second round picked up for M80. Again, towards that B site. That's where they're finding their success. They feel a little reticent to try and go there repeatedly. They really want to mix things up. Maybe they're outthinking themselves at certain points, but again, I do want to give a lot of credit to Wildcard. They have played a very nice defensive side here. You already talked about their pacing to their util. It's been phenomenal. I mean, one of the reasons why M80 were able to crack through immediately here is that op frag that Slacks found, and we talked about how important the oppers were going to be. Slight has been outplaying him up to this point, at least in terms of his positioning and frags, but Slacks has woken up here, and that could be a difference heading into the latter part of this first half.
Could be indeed. Not a lot of rounds left to play. 3 of them, to be specific. If they can get on to 4, I think it'll be enough to make a game of this. 3's pushing it. 2's really not much to speak of. So there's the standards. 5 and they'll feel like they're winning. Those are the battle lines as we've drawn them. A little bit of a fumble early on means this isn't going to be a rapid B take. There's going to be Malbs making some inroads here on towards B, but now he's waiting for his teammates to group up, and some aggressive utility from Wildcard will keep them from getting in towards the tunnels early. JBA. Is JBA going to push this? Oh, he's going to push this. This is such a risk, but it's going to pay off. JBA! Very fortunate they went towards lower, and now he's going to be able to get away scot-free, and Sonic retakes the position. The up is the threat. If the bomb drops here, it's an outright disaster. And as it is, pressure in towards mid.
Really?
Wary on these peaks. He can't land it. It's falling apart at the seams for M80 here, John.
Yeah. This is just weird the way they're throwing their util. Slight is going to find the connection onto Malbs. There's one for Wreck, but 55 seconds left and a 4v2 advantage in favor of Wildcard. It does not bode well for M80. Keep getting lost in mid, it seems, and Cat as well. Slacks tried to peek around. It's unfortunate for him, of course, that he only got the leg shot on Slight, who ends up getting finished off, but Slight was continuing to go back into that fight. He wanted to throw a flashbang for his teammates, and I think that ended up rattling Slacks enough when he was going for that Cat push that he couldn't really connect on his shot. Well, M80 going to B. This is actually effectively a 2v1, so if they win the fight here, a chance in the round. 21 seconds. There it is. Wreck finding the headshot into JBA, and that's a bomb plant, probably, but this player, Stanislaw, over in upper tunnels could stop everything.
And they had to cross the bomb. The smoke didn't land in the doors. Yeah, double up through the doors. That's a bit of a nightmare. If one misses, you got another, and there's just no path through for M80. They had no time to spare. They needed a little bit more. So, 4 rounds, best case scenario here. And that might even be feeling like a distant thought. The rounds are few and far between for M80, and they desperately need one of these next 2 at least to break through.
Yeah. Double digits for Wildcard, maybe curtains for M80 here on Dust2. And then we'll be headed to Ancient. Sonic just dry peeks. Just dry peeks, Malbs.
All about the timing. He had the faster play. He got the fast cat. He made it happen. That's the magic of Dust2. Might not expect Sin here, though, and so little overzealous, perhaps, in the mid play. This is something that M80 have not tested as much. JBA is on an island now. If they smoke this up, JBA is in a lot of trouble. Here's what you've wanted, John. Here's the mid to B split. JBA knows he has to get a kill. There's a nade pop, but they're past it. They are past it. And here comes JBA on the peak. He's got the one. He's got the two. JBA looking like a hero here. Sin stuck. Swisher through, but it's far too late. The bomb is dropped, and there's just no chance.
No way.
1 HP. It's all but over here for Swish. And he knows it.
Well, I mean, I thought they played it right that time. But JBA is just better. Just better.
I mean, had a big round. He's the B anchor on this map. It is not a sexy position. But when they needed him, he comes up big.
And it's probably so tempting because he saw the barrel of the rifle on the other player to try and chase that one down. But instead, he refocuses himself, realizing that he has the advantage in that duel and the player probably won't peek, to look towards mid. And that's absolutely the right decision. And the rest of his team take care of that other player at mid. And Swisher manages to find him, but it doesn't matter. And by that point, they've got a beat on him. And oh my goodness, they are giving no ground to M80. That is a ripper of a shot from Sonic.
Sonic loves him some opping on Dust2.
Wow, this is dominant.
Far the most dynamic player on the Surfer right now. He is all over the place, and that's how you got to play this. It's instinctual. It's aggressive. And it's a hell of a lot of fun to watch. There is space being allowed out catwalk this time. Malls is going to find that, but they got to be bold with it because there's a timer on this. When Slight starts to come back around, they're going to be in trouble. Right now, they're not moving quick. They're setting up their util. They're a little hesitant. Here comes the approach. Slight's now just coming back, but they haven't taken advantage of the space that he allowed them. Now choke point util going to come out. Incendiary is nicely timed. And Malls is just jumping through, breaking his ankles to do so. Stan didn't hear it. Stan didn't hear it, and actually Sin getting that kill. Malls doesn't even have to activate. Nade pop. Headshot on. Malls with the punish. Oh, the health is so low for M80. This is so tentative, but they're picking the right site. They're headed towards A. With this control from Mobs, they're feeling confident here, and that means Grizz is on a bit of an island, and a long flank can't come through. One more bullet needed there from Sin, and he couldn't quite find it. The headshot won't be found, but Swisher at least can follow it up. A bomb plant. Do they expect Mobs? He still gets the headshot. A clutch. Oh. Swisher against the young gun, JBA. Looking for the hop shot? No, not feeling his kookly self. It'll be the ramp approach instead, and Swisher out towards Goose will not have it. Oh, JBA plays it to perfection. Time of plenty for the defuse. It is double digits locked in to send us to the half.
Counter-terrorists win.
Back into the second half here, and this one might not be much. Wildcard. Looking for a win. Looking to tie the scoreline. Well, not actually, but to move up to a 2-1 to give themselves a chance here in the series. And they have put themselves in a beautiful place as we swap sides.
Yeah, I mean, M80 just had absolutely no clue what to do in dealing with Wildcard on the other side. I mean, everywhere they went, it felt like there were 3 Wildcard players, and they could never really crack on through the defense. They did in that last round, but in the end, it came down to a 1v1. If they had played it more like they did at the latter part of that first half, probably would have found a little more success in more than 2 rounds, but it's too late to be thinking about that now. They have to switch over to CT side and find something, and they'll find a lot. 3 frags come through immediately.
All right. Sonic, he's been the Dust2 king. Saying, all right, Mobs, look, I can do it too. And he might just do it in this pistol round. Take it all the way. Mobs on the other line will not be allowing anyone to contest his crown, though he's got a long way to go to reclaiming it on this. The pistol round will fall for M80. Now, look, there's no bomb plant. There's no bomb plant, John.
Mm-hmm.
But if they force up here, Wildcard could just end this whole thing.
What?
Is that enough to tempt them?
I don't agree with that statement. I think forcing up will really crush their economy in this situation.
They're not going to force up. They're listening to you. They're saying, let's play with the cushion.
Yeah.
Early choke point util seemed like this might have been just a fast B play if there was no resistance. But resistance there is indeed. Sin. Oh, that nade. That nade. Red bars.
Oh, okay.
Not actually as good as it could have been. Perhaps finds the gap, but Slacks will connect on 2. And this is looking like it should be comfortable. Mario adding numbers. And Sin will finish things off. So clean in the anti-eco. It was minimal investment. Just a couple pieces of util to try and make that happen. But here come the guns.
Guns are up for Wildcard. M80, a bit of a bonus round for themselves. 2 FAMASs, an MP9, and 2 A1Ss. But those MP9s can be very brutal on a map like Dust2 if you play them right. And Sin just walking through and taking names, honestly, with that FAMAS. The nade was pretty good as well, helped him get a couple of assists. So he's doing his job. M80 going to consistently be mollying off this upper B tunnels. Again, guys, the mollies aren't accurate on the minimap. Just keep that in mind. There is a molly, or an incendiary, I should say, for upper tons. Stanislaw going to get flashed out into lower. And M80 are taking a very different approach from Wildcard on their defensive side. Not going to have any aggression into mid. More stagnant. A couple of players actually watching mid, but from the back lines.
Nade's a little annoying for Sonic. Might make him a bit more vulnerable to the FAMAS. Certainly sets him up for the 1-bullet headshot. That's a cheeky smoke.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like that.
It's a new one that was actually shown a little while ago. I love it too.
That's a nice one. Just like a nice curtain.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck boosting over this. Volumetric smokes. They'd be pretty sometimes. Here's the split in towards B. Didn't see enough of it for your taste, John, in the first half, but we're getting an early dosage, and that's a problem now for M80. Mob's in trouble, only gets the 1. Biff the Molotov as well, or the incendiary, rather. And with the bomb now planted, this is going to be an eco. This is going to be Wildcard onto 11.
Yeah. That's how effective a mid-to-B can be, right? I'm just so surprised M80 didn't deploy it at all. It still works. I mean, it was a classic in CSGO, a staple to any any T sides executes on Dust2, but just didn't want to do it. Just kept getting lost in this weird pattern of going towards cat and long and forgetting that mid even exists.
Wreck. Bottlenecking here. Only gonna get the 1. No! Second player goes down. Sin brawling there. Trying to limit the guns, but now it's big trouble on for M80. They do not have the margin to be giving up guns like that. Would have had a buy if all three had survived. They'll still be buying up, but it's going to be looking a lot worse for the wear.
I think it was better just not to fight. Like, they didn't have to play for exits. Just play to save your guns. Get away from any possible fight. It doesn't matter as much if Wildcard lose their guns. They're still going to have to reinvest the util. And even if that one player stays alive, it doesn't really change the overall picture on Wildcard versus M80. You're losing 2 rifles. This would have been rifles across the board instead of an MP9 and a FAMAS. See if it makes a difference. Maul's charging up mid. Should be able to close this one out. He does. In the meantime, Sid also finds Slight. So it's a 4v3. Malps continues to fight here. Grizz can't finish him up, but JBA supports well. Oh, nice shot from Slack's recovery there. And it will be a 3v2 in the end for M80.
Oh, they're not going to expect Swisher. Grizz's knife out. That's a disaster now. They've done enough. I thought that was going to be all over. Yeah. Sin was lost and Malps got isolated top mid. But a good response from Slacks keeps it from getting out of hand, sends Grizz back into Swisher's waiting arms. And now it's up to Stan. Stan the man. What can he bring to the table? Ooh, position revealed. Rek trying to avoid giving him a fight. Would love to deny him the bomb plant, but he has to cross your teammates, so there's no reason to force the issue here and now. There's that brawl. There's that fight. He hits the headshot. Beautifully done from Stanislaw. Might not expect Swisher in the same angle. He went to go get himself a rifle, and Rek will deliver the critical round. That was for the map.
Yeah.
And M80 at least give themselves a chance to compete here.
Yeah, without question. And, I mean, money-wise, Wildcard probably want to play conservatively at this point because they have a 6-round lead. And you're going to see it again. I mean, Malps just got aggressive and took the fight forward, which was a good idea because it helped them get a man advantage early on. And then afterwards, Swisher just in the right place at the right time. It's as simple as that. Grizz just didn't expect him at all, had his knife out. And that is M80 taking an important one. Wildcard actually opting for the force buy. Interesting. They want this aggressive long control. And look at Malps. He goes up mid again. Almost gets 2. Slight trades him out. That is some good damage done as Wildcard, I mean, information gained as well. Probably realized, do M80, that there should be some presence towards long, but they're allowing Wildcard to take the space, Mike.
They're adjusting elsewhere. Right, by taking the cat control, they're going to have a strong position into the post plant.
Yeah.
How far do they go with this?
Could go for a flank.
He is. He is. It does mean there's going to be big trouble on. Slack's coming back to address this with the AWP. Rek on the same line. It's all about how fast this flank activates because they are moving. Are there Molotovs to stall this? No. Molly's actually on Sin. That's not really where you'd like it. And Rek now out of play. There's nothing to hold him off of this bomb plant. This is all about Sin on this duel. He'll win it.
Oh, really?
Now they're not going to be comfortable in the post. The bomb's actually planted open for this, so very hard to find cover. Rifle picked up and claimed. Slacks, though. Run down cat.
Oh!
Sin and Swisher. Here it goes. Slight. Wounded. Limping. Trying to get away. Spotted fleeing out. Smoke up. He has to go through it. They're just going to stick. Bomb's not planted for him. Slight's going to save. He's backing away. This is the round for M80. Yeah. If they half it up around the AWP, this is pretty dang good. They don't have anything for an early death ball, but they might just try and get a player out towards long. That's exactly what they're going to do. Well, no. Actually, they're not. There's the mid-door fight and played a little slower, actually, considering the pistols. Bit surprised by that. But we'll see what they're cooking. Every one of these rounds has been so scrappy, though, John. Nothing's felt terribly comfortable here for M80. It is funny as well. You can tell there's a level of discomfort. Just some of the utility, right? Like a lot of the nades, they're not in the wrong spot per se. It's just like mollies aren't quite as deep as you'd like. Obviously, that's an improv molly on the fly. You're running back. You're trying to throw the perfect middle distance. He gets it mostly good. It's just the little things that there just aren't as many live reps on this map lately. It's still something they're presumably finding comfort on. Here's that mid to B split. Caused them a lot of problems last time. Here it goes again. Flashbang timing for the peak isn't perfect, but Mobs is unpunished. As they re-smoke this up, Sin, what does he have on the spray? Stan's just trying to make noise to distract them, to keep them from having eyes on. Oh, nice early find. There's the trade, but it goes the way of Wildcard, and now they're in trouble. Spam is good for Sin. Just going to allow them at least the positioning to go for the post plant, but the bomb is now down. Flashbang through the doors to get with Sonic, but he's not blind. And now it's big trouble on. Have to get this kill. He's got it. Stan, what do you have? Peering out the doors with this AWP. He's picked up the big green. Stan could lock this down, but now he's revealed his intentions. They're going to fight this differently, closing the distance as quickly as they can. But Stan, he's still ready for it. Jumping around, moving, changing the angle of approach, the angle of attack constantly. But Slacks will be a little quicker to suss it all out. This, again, so uncomfortable, so close to disaster. But still, M80 keep chugging along. Chris is having himself a nice Dust2 here. Yeah, these are the limitations. This is what happens when you keep surviving with 1 or 2 alive. When you can't win a clean round. You just don't have the nades. It's gotta be the kills that do it for you. That's the last smoke on. Still a minute on the clock. Seems like they're going to flash into a fight. There's a lot of players on the other side of this. If they needed any confirmation. There it is. Flashbang. Peek. Stands up on it. Oh no, it's the full clear out on for Wreck. I don't know whether the idea was to peek off that flash, but whatever it was, it did not work out. Sin is just trying to get the heck out of dodge, and well, this flank might be quick, but it might just lead to a save. There's a rally. Oh! Now they got the advantage. This flank's been so fast. Through the Molotov they go. The flames burn, and it's a clean sweep. 12 on the board. No one saved through. No money to spare for M80. 5 rounds to close, and in this first attempt, M80 will have precious little to defend with.
Wow. I mean, look, M80 looks so uncomfortable in virtually every engagement. It's affecting their sprays. Their utility usage is off. Even when they're going through util and trying to get responses, they look rough. Swisher going way too fast after finding that first one to try and get the follow-up. It just felt like the pacing, feels like the pacing is completely off, and I don't know. This was a good pick from Wildcard, I'll tell you that. It's not over yet, but look at this buy for M80. I mean, they're playing with pots and pans at a certain point. Mobs, well, he gets one, and Swisher will get a follow-up, so perhaps those pots and pans will be enough here as those 2 AKs are ripe for the picking. I think Swisher will just ferry them back, maybe. He'll try and carry one towards the B site and call his teammates over, but they hear all this noise towards long, so they can't really come and grab it. He'll just have to settle for the one and join up with his teammates. No way.
Wreck, hold on. Now just on to Sonic. He's backing away. He has been the strongest performer here on Dust2, and now he's got a chance to put this whole map to rest.
Man.
It's mid he's going to choose to go through.
Is it?
Oh no, it's Cat. They have no information whatsoever. Once they peer around in towards long and see nothing, they're going to realize, okay, we got to change our focus. And Sonic, meanwhile, has taken advantage of this to head straight towards B. Crossing the door might be a risk. But it's a risk he's going to have to take.
Smoke.
There it goes. There's a smoke. There's the confirmation. Now they know. They'll try and close the gap. Sin fast to come along as well. Sonic needs to plant this bomb.
Oh.
Ooh, that Molotov was mostly just to pull him, and Swisher, the flashbang through works. A trick. They were down. But M80, they're not out. And they will give themselves a chance for overtime.
I don't know if the Molotov was a trick or was misthrown, but either way, it doesn't matter. Swisher's just better with the aim and decided that that was going to be what gave him the victory in this round. 8th found. That was very scary for M80, honestly, but they got the edge early on with a couple of quick pistol frags, pushing aggressively into those upper tunnels. And now, well, they still got an opportunity to push this into OT. You see the confidence from Wildcard, though. I mean, overall, they feel like the more cohesive unit here. Nodding up and down, Grizz is to his teammates saying, you know what, doesn't matter, we still got this. M80 on the other side, very precarious with every move they make. Smoke's going to get tossed here in towards long doors. Incendiary as well. Slight tries to get a quick shot off. He won't do that. And they may back off of this attempted hit towards long as a result of Rek's positioning. And Rek feels like he wants to either take some space here towards long and push out, or just hold the close angle. And it appears as though the answer is hold the close angle. Oh, nice shot from Slacks. He's the one who pushes out and connects onto Grizzly in lower tunnels. That might have been a boost.
It might have been. I think it was. Stando with one hero towards long. Takes that off out of play. Rek has to further commit into this angle. Some utility to set him up. Oh, the peek back in for Sin. This is a risk. And Sin shows why. Oh, no, Rek. Oh, 1 HP on Stan. That might have just been the map. A kill here, and even a 1-for-1 would leave it possible for his comrades. But as it is, they have to take the initiative.
No!
The spray is good! Mobs, again, takes the team on his shoulders, carries them into a position where they can fight. And now we just have JBA. We just have JBA. Hello, Inferno Mobs. Welcome back to the server here. They've got the bomb control. They got everything in their favor, and JBA has no idea where this second player might be.
I mean, I wrote them off, Mike. I had them completely written off in that round, but I forgot Mobs is still alive. The 2K is ridiculous. Then the transfer over, it looked a little bit off towards the end, but he still makes it work. And they don't have to peek here. 12 seconds left, just hide. That's absolutely what they're going to do. 9th round picked up. Wildcard letting that one completely slip away. That is a 4v2, full control, and Mobs just peeks around a flashbang and makes it work. Unbelievable stuff.
And they'll risk salvaging the op as well. That's a huge piece picked up. That's going to get Slacks activated into this next round. No bomb plant either, so we're going to have a limited buy here for Wildcard. JBA on 0 due to the save. We might see the force down around him. This map's cracked wide back open.
Yeah, I do have one point of criticism for M80 because it's Sin, honestly. Re-peeking with the AWP. All you need to do in that situation, take one shot. Go back into cover. You've attracted the attention. Rek is that snake in the grass. He'll be able to strike afterwards. Instead, he re-peeks it and leaves Rek in an even tougher spot. Because if Rek does go down afterwards, then maybe Sin can peek through and collect a frag and put more pressure on. But with only Rek left at long, it's either a one-and-done situation or a none and dead.
There's definitely a lot of situations where people are trying to play some hero ball.
Yeah.
They're feeling the pressure. Rek, speaking of pressure, could get this fast flank through in towards top mid, but they're already through the mid door, so it may not matter. Rek, does he activate? This could be the backstab of the century at this point, but he's wary, and instead they're headed in towards B, and now, reinforcements for this B site are far away. Out the tunnels goes one, Stan connects, but he's all on his lonesome now, and the bomb's dropped in mid. There should be nothing Stanislaw can do. He'll give it a try, but through the door, he falters. Another multi-kill for Mobs, 4 this time against the Ecos. And they just need 2 more rounds.
Stan maybe comes out a little bit sooner there, or is able to strike for more damage than the rest of his team can be a prong on the other side to really make life difficult for M80, but in that case, it doesn't work out, and we are 2 rounds away from a potential overtime and another 10-2 half, this time in favor of M80. Well, it's a far cry. Slight wanted to go a little bit fast here and maybe get a peek. He does get that peek, but no one is visible at this time. He knows someone's close with the direction of that nade. Swisher peeks out, trying to bait out a shot. He knows someone's there now, and will throw the smoke to push them back. Wildcard readjusting themselves off of that B site for now.
Sin hold feels like everything. Flashbang's good. He's forced off. Able to stay alive. Has support as well, actually. Mom's coming into it, so it's a good crossfire. Wildcard choose to test as they could be punished. But they're going to adjust. Knowing that there's focus brought in towards mid, they're going to shift their eyes on towards Catwalk instead. But waiting to meet them is Slax's 8WP. A try peek here would be deadly. Actually, he wants to hunt up ahead of the smoke. Nade to punish the one. Nothing too substantial. But it will slow Wildcard down for the moment. So at this point, they've got 2 smokes, 2 HEs, and 2 flashes. Make that 1 as they try and drop a player in towards CT successfully. The B defense is very vulnerable once more. Mobs has to come up strong. Oh, he's going to be able to find the first. There's the setup for the next. Damage onto Sonic. Player out of the tunnel. Swisher knows he's painted to the corner, but the USP's enough. And it all falls to Slight. And now reinforcements are on. Swisher, run down. Can Slight get this bomb planted? He wants a fight beforehand. Down to just Slacks. It's on for the clutch. He has to stick this, but he has the balls to do so. It all falls to Slacks and Slight now. Slight's got the health advantage, but they're both AWPers. That's not much gonna matter. Slight playing around the smoke. Taking the initiative. Tucking himself in by the car. Slacks has no idea where his adversary has gone. He's going to come to tap. That'll put the pressure back on. Does Slight blink? Realizes he's off of it. Oh, and that will be the last bullet to send Wildcard through onto the next map. They've done it. Slight, a massive clutch, a ballsy peek out the window, and that tips the scales and puts Wildcard over the line.
I mean, 11 seconds left. The one thing that's on most players' minds in that situation is getting the bomb planted. Not Slight. He pops out of window, gets another lose Ancient, and then of course Anubis. Wildcard felt like they knew how to abuse it against M80 the last time they were there. Even though M80 won it, I feel like if they get back there, they'll make up for those mistakes and be able to close it out. Anyway, we're still a far cry from that point. That's why I'm trying to lean into the point of M80 needs the win here on Ancient. This is their home turf. This is the map where they perform the best on.
Yeah, they would rather just never ask or answer that question.
Yes, exactly.
Who cares about Anubis? Get her done here and now. Wrap up the night and leave that question for another day. Pressure outside of B, mate. It's the heavy lean for Wildcard if they do opt to finish B for M80. 3 players here in the defense. There is no kit. There is no more util. And there is no more Sonic. Mom's traded out 1 for 1, though. He has been merciless in these pistols, and it seems like Sin and Rek will pick up his mantle. This should be just about settled news. Slacks! I don't know what he's waiting for.
He's so lucky.
He is very fortunate that he wasn't punished on that one. But now without having found that kill, Slight, it's going to be very tough to get involved in this.
Yeah, oh, well, that's Slight getting 1, but I think the armor's kind of worth saving at this point. He's going to look for frags and exits potentially, but that $650 can go a long way in the follow-up round, especially if they decide to force up. Sin wants to try and get that last, and oh, Slight hears all the footsteps and says, nah, you're clotheslined, you're done. And he will survive and get a little bit of cash. Yeah, exactly.
Figure out where he can put himself. is a little extra dosh. Can't buy the head armor for free, but they're probably not going to invest much around this. So this is more about building it towards that first gun round.
All right. M80. Going to immediately get a couple of A. Oh, no. Not a couple of AKs. Mobs quickly sells his and goes for the Wildcard instead.
Wildcard gone all the way in.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's why I was saying the armor might be more important if they want to go for the force buy, and they absolutely will here. Popping the smoke. Slight has the FAMAS, which is the most potent, arguably, here of the guns they have.
Swisher through mid, that's going to be a problem. There's no one to stop him. The A-take is on. There's heavy presence in Donut, but they're taking a bite out of it. And the third player is revealed as well. So the rifle from Slight gets the one. But the flames do spread, and one is just not enough.
Oh.
Stan, though.
It's not over. Look at the health.
Stan, though. All right, now it is just Stan. He's got the rifle, but he is hemmed in. Smoke to try and give him some color. It was actually just a flashbang. You're right, the health is low. But he's so wary. That Swisher will never give him the opportunity.
Wow, that's really well played from Swisher, right? Because there were a couple of opportunities for Wildcard to kind of get back into that bomb site and perhaps threaten, but Swisher denies Grizz the space, and then Stan just really can't do anything to get back in. So he tries to fade out, but Swisher is able to finish him off as well and rack up, importantly, some SMG money. That's $1,200 in his bank account, and I think Sin also got all of his frags with the MAC-10, so that's the full $3,000 that has been collected by M80 to build up their bank. And well, they are in a bonus round right now. Actually, excuse me, no, that previous round, I guess, considered the bonus because Wildcard invested into it. Now Wildcard will only have the USPs and a flashbang. That's it. They gamble B, they gamble wrong, the round is over.
Never seen a 5-on-5 USP retake? I don't think I have, to be honest with you.
No, not once.
Oh? Hold on. Hold on. A retake it will not be, but a gun? Can he get away with this?
Slack spotted him, so did, yeah, okay, no.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately for him, there will be nothing taken through to the next. We will have the buy-up. Slight has that extra cash as well, so maybe this is going to go towards an AWP, you'd imagine. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, he might not be able to afford much util, but they need to get him on the op quickly, and there it is. It still has a smoke and a flash, but that AWP will be critical here for the Wildcard CT side. Over on M80, they also have a lot of money, so they can buy up for the players that died. And Sin even walks out, I mean, 3 players walk out of it with around 5K or more. So actually, money is flowing quite nicely for M80.
Yeah, this is the classic bonus round. Keeping the MAC-10 up.
Yeah.
Maybe going a little quicker. If they can win here, it's a real statement. And look at this space taken. Flashbangs are lethal. Space gain. Stan traded out 1 for 1. Pressure onto Sonic. But he's able to slip away. This nade might be punishing. It is indeed. Look at the health. Oh boy. Okay, not ready for the close clear. And now they're being swept away. But Rex got something to say about it.
1 HP. 1 HP.
1 is all you need. Unless you full sprint onto a player who's already here.
Yeah. Or, unless it's a bamboozle. Wreck. He's pulling out all the plays in his playbook. He's convinced them it's going B. Oh no! Look at this Slight doubling back. What gave him an inkling this was happening? Well, he's not going to hit the shot, and he's almost gone. Oh my goodness! Now
he's going back.
He's going B.
Why not? Why not? Keep toying with their expectations. The thing is, if he does go B and Grizz hears a plant, he just has to throw one of these 2 damaging pieces of utility. I mean, heck, if he puts the smoke in the right place, that'll bottle him. It's not going to take much to win this. So, Rex trying to Giga Brain them. But Grizz is not taking the bait. Good from Rec to actually do damage, though. Because it was looking like it was going to be a clean sweep. I mean, that was a 1-on-4, right? Before Rec finds the 2 kills in towards Donut. And because that was the bonus round, now you can get a repurchase in from M80, and there's a prime opportunity to reset Wildcard early.
Oh, M80 going to be reinvesting here. The 4 AKs in the AWP. Bonus round didn't yield as much as they were hoping for, but like you said, economic damage was done, and that limits Wildcard. Moving forward, flashbang. Gonna get tossed in. Smoke, blooms. M80. Oh, I don't know if they saw him. They did, but Slight connects the shot right before Malbs is able to get the spray through. And now it's a 5v4, no trade available just yet. They're going to try and retake that space in towards Red Room, but Slight's waiting. I mean, this is a pretty good reposition from him.
Deep control from Sonic as well makes this more confident. Stanislav's in the tight angle. Got no crossfire. Oh, peeks right into the crosshair. So aware from Rec, and now both B defenders are gone. That one turns in the blink of an eye. This bomb will be planted. I don't know that Wildcard can risk this without the mid control. Sonic's going to try and clear that out, but with Malbs pressing forward, they've got zero interest in this. Now the question is, how many guns can they keep alive?
And Malbs, well, all of them, I guess, now. There's no
helps.
reason for M80 to hunt further. So that's something to get out of this round. So they reset for the follow-up. But yeah, M80, what a great job going to that B site, like you said. Frag comes through and they open it up completely. Wildcard unable to hold their ground. And M80 off to a very nice start. They look, as of course expected, far more comfortable here on Ancient. Rec a little too close to the bomb, maybe not comfortable enough, or too comfortable. You can argue both ways, because not predicting how far that bomb would spread in terms of its explosion. So, M80 going into round number 6. That'll be okay. They'll be able to reinvest, no problem. Probably would have liked to keep the gun anyway, but yeah.
Timeout going to be called here from Wildcard. I've seen this sliding out of control. They know this one's going to become oh so important. If they can get their impact felt here on Ancient before this one gets totally out of hand. See, the last time they played Ancient was just back in May. Looking at the timeline of that one, M80 were able to put together 8 rounds on the T side, and it was a 13-5 when all was said and done. So Wildcard cannot allow that kind of a first half.
No, absolutely not. Wildcard going to have all 5 players leaning into either mid or B, which leaves A exceptionally exposed if M80 decide to go there. Yeah, a little bit of damage taken by Swisher in that Molotov.
That was their Molotov.
And it's actually, yeah, Slack's going to hit the shot onto Slight, and the B site's cracked open. They were so committed to the mid fight that no one was on either bomb site. There is a player that's trapped in Jaguar, and Sonic managed to make it a little bit easier to potentially get back into the site. Sonic keeps moving around. He's hitting another headshot. Sonic trying to channel some of that energy from the previous map, and it's working. Grizz finds a couple as well onto Sin and Swisher, and Rec is the last one standing. What a great job. They even denied the plant, Mike.
That feels like M80 got so rattled by the miscues early on in B control, and then getting that early kill, they just never expected those rotations to be so dang quick, but because of the heavy mid setup, there were bodies around. So that's a nice answer from Wildcard. M80 admittedly looking a little out of sorts, but Wildcard will take that every day of the week. They have the numbers in the right spot and never allowed the bomb plant. Money's actually gone for M80 as well. This is not great without a bomb plant. They're in a tough spot here, and if Rec can hold on to this gun, that does make it a whole lot better. He's got enough money to spare that this isn't even going to cost him in the long run. He'll bring through 2 flashes to smoke. But he's got to survive for 20 seconds. Working in his favor, I cannot imagine Wildcard are eager for the hunt.
No. Definitely not, as they are not looking too great in terms of their economy, but this is a great round for them to pick up. Rec will just save the AK on forward. But M80 won't have that much of a buy around it unless they decide to force up, which is a possibility, given that their loss bonus is only at 1900 and they're probably going to have to save into that next round anyway. What do you do? I mean, Slacks and Zin should be okay. Slacks won't be able to get the AWP in the following round.
Mobs is buying down.
Cannon. Okay.
Okay, wait, hold on. Persuaded otherwise. So he's bought down, but maybe he just deeks for the next two if this one doesn't work out. It is mobs. Certainly a possibility. Timeout can be called here. This is Def getting in their ears. Figuring out the buy for this one, but also planning for the next gun round. You get bomb plan and damage here. That's going to be well worth it. So what do they feel they need to bring in to make that happen? Or do they just put full faith in Rec on the hero AK and try and rock? Nope, it's all in.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Like I was saying, I mean, they're probably on an eco in the next round anyway, so then they would only be buying up in the following round. By that point, your loss bonus will have built up enough that you'll be okay. Assuming, of course, that they lose the rounds, which is not a guarantee. They've got 2 rifles coming through here, a Deagle and 2 Tech 9s. Decent amount of util. Not everyone has any. Mobs and Swisher, notably low. But they're giving to the important players. Slacks, in particular, throws 0.96 flashes on average per round, which is matched by Stan. It's interesting to see how these teams kind of match up very evenly in terms of the way they deploy their utility. Well, Sin peering around. Oh, bit of a lag spike or something on my side. I'm not sure if you saw that, Mike, but players teleporting around a little bit. Swisher walks through, going to get nothing. Stanislaw sprays him down.
Look at this space, though.
M80. Yeah. Look at
this space for mobs. They have no idea. He's calling his teammates over because he's going to have this kill dead to rights on JBA. Now, is he ready for the next? There's still Slight here, but Slight's now on an island, and Mobs knows his job is to cover off the choke points.
Oh, wow.
Oh, takes that a little bit too far, playing around the smoke, and now Slight can get activated, and Slight holds the line.
That is a very nice play from one Slight on the tail end, but Sonic waiting around the edge of that smoke to see if anyone was holding the line, and he absolutely destroys Mobs and takes away one of the important pieces from M80's potential defense, and I shouldn't say defense, potential attack towards that bomb site and getting that plant. And by that point, Wildcard secure it, and the force buy does not yield much of anything. Economy is still strong on the Wildcard side. They're going to go for an aggressive push towards mid. JBA gets the opener, and in fact, even with that, in that win on Dust2, JBA hasn't necessarily been the one to pop off. It was Sonic previously, and as I say that, well, he's going to collect a few eeks, and that might give him a little bit more confidence. Grizz with the gentle tap to Swisher towards the tail end, and that'll make it a tie, 4-4.
Wildcard feeling dang good about this now. Keeping it clean, money in the bank, something to fall back on, comfort to build. And they've really stymied what M80 want to do. Yeah, M80 have had limited buys in the last two, but we know they can be dangerous with these. Obviously, the Glock's not so much, but in the last, I mean, the positioning of Mobs found, the fact that he gets the kill on JPA, that is disaster. That is red alert. That is awooga alarms bell sounding. Even with the cleanup on Mobs, if Slight goes 1-1, it's a bomb plant that you don't want to concede. With all that working out, with the follow-up in the Glocks, this is a world of difference in the half. They got to take it all the way.
Yeah.
Talk about what happened when the side swap last time. They do not want to repeat. Need as many rounds here and now. With the money in your favor, with the pacing. And once again, they have left mid totally open. JBA going back to address it, but Mobs, he could just rock on through.
Yeah. There have been vulnerabilities in mid and A here for Wildcard for several rounds. Just M80 aren't necessarily abusing it, and well, maybe they're realizing now that this space is available, but they keep going towards B side. Reminds me of Dust2, right? Where they kept going towards A and weren't trying to explore what was happening in mid. or get to that B site. So, I don't know. M80 getting tunnel vision.
The degree of that, there's still plenty of time. Question is just, when does Mobs activate? He's the key. He's the one who can call for the rotations based on what he's seeing. But he's never gone up in towards that red room, never gone up over that lip, so he doesn't have that information. So now they fade into the 2-1-2. They've got aggressive B ramp positioning as well. So this flank is going to be fast if it does come through. A little bit of cave presence from Swisher. That might hold him at bay. In towards A they go. JBA and Sonic, what do they got? Sonic's got the A main player, and here's the transfer. All just on the slacks. Scraping a bomb plant, not even going to be allowed. It's Wildcard into the lead.
Wow, Wildcard have really pulled things together in such a significant way. I mean, that's, what, 5 in a row now? M80, we're up to, I think maybe 4 in a row. But either way, it's like a lot of rounds that Wildcard have strung together. M80 are starting to look like they're falling into the traps that Wildcard want them to walk into. They're getting funneled in the direction that has the majority of the Wildcard players. And even there, you see that. I mean, they're running out of time, obviously, but thinking that no one else might be nearby, planting the bomb, and there's a player right around the corner because they read exactly where M80 were going to go. Timeout used. Second one already for M80 as they try to compose themselves here.
Gonna have to save one of these for the second half. Could get a deco going. This could be pretty good half buy. If you're gonna hit a fast play, it's got to be towards A or mid.
Yeah.
Based on what we've seen, the B site has had numbers on it, and they're gonna go back there.
Dude, they have tunnel vision today. They just can't get away from themselves.
Feels a bit like it. Maybe anticipating the change-up pish. Look, the move in towards cave could work out, but now it's been heard. Now that mid player might rotate back. This is a little bit more of a default spread. Stan's in trouble on the other side of this, but Stan will be good for the first. And there's no second. They're stuck. Need to get up ramp. Need to get in towards this B site now. They've already telegraphed it, and they've got no real utility to spare. It's going to be headshots or it's going to be nothing. So the adjustment is that they bail out. They head towards mid-late. 2 players without armor. Only Swisher with a Tech 9 with a vest on. JBA doesn't want to give up this fight. Knowing that would put Slight in a tough position. But he's been very good through these last few rounds. And he's not going to have any issues here and now.
Yeah. I think the problem here for M80 is, you know, once that initial foray of utility goes out, you're trying to readjust, but you have nothing left to really line the CTs on this side, so you have to rely on the pure firepower, and Swisher gets one, but it's only one. It's just very unlikely that you'll find success. They just need it to go fast onto B and execute. Sure, if you go down, you're done, but just pick a spot and go. Because really things haven't gone well for them. And again, we talk at the beginning of the round about the tunnel vision towards the B site. They can't get away from it. Even with the timeout called, they keep going that direction. They're leaning into a comfort zone instead of going out and exploring more of the map, especially mid. That's just being left for them to take. Maybe not this round, though. Looks like Wildcard want to make a little bit of an adjustment. The incendiaries are going to get thrown, and I mean, just when you try to adjust yourselves on M80, Wildcard has the perfect change-up to their defense, and Stanislaw gets the opener already from Jaguar. Wildcard appear to be wrestling momentum out of the hands of M80. I would argue they already have it.
Decidedly. Sonic with one in towards mid. These are isolated fights. Swisher, though, finding Stan. That puts pressure on the B site. Problem is, without that mid control, it's going to be a long rotation for Wreck and Mobs to get back over here. Swisher needs to hold on to this positioning when a window peek could come through at any time. Seeing nothing further in towards mid. Slight even comes off of this site. They've got the read and then some. There's only 2 rounds left in this half, so they're okay to risk this. To see if they can't just shut this down with 3 players on towards B. That's been the tendency for M80. We're going to be headed right into the jaws of this defense. Grizz and Cave. JP's getting active. Hold on, Rek finds the first. Does he expect the second? He does indeed. Rek might do this, and just like that, the stack is gone. Wildcard wanted a little information, and it has cost them. The bomb now being planted. Sonic, there's plenty of money. There's no reason to hold back, so he'll give it a try. That's going to be a tough ask. He's past the smoke. Might catch them off guard. There's the flashbang, but oh, the turn is beautiful. Next one found. There's the swing. Mobs puts this one to rest, and M80 find a 5th round to break up that streak from Wildcard.
Yeah, despite themselves going back to that B site again, Rek is able to crack it through, and I think it's because Wildcard just getting a little impatient, right? Going down that ramp, Rek delivers a couple of frags. Swisher afterwards on the tail end gets one on the other side, and Wildcard only had one player left in that situation, and it was perfectly traded by M80. So finally, the patient play towards that B site pans out for them, heading into the 12th and final round of this first half. Wildcard throwing a ton of util out towards mid, and one in return on the M80 side. That's the Molotov for Cubby. Good smoke from Wildcard, from Donut. M80 might just push through this, though, and I think they're going to. Yeah, they're just coming right on through. No one is home. This has been the story for the majority of this half. Wildcard throw some early util and then leave mid free for the taking.
Here comes the move. JBA's got to hold strong. He's going to be first contact. I mean, it's just the one player. Smoke comes out, but it's a little awkward, and now he's forced back. The tree player, do they read this based on the smoke? Sonic revealed. No, he gets nothing. What a turn for Mobs. Now the bomb down, man advantage, choke points under control. And Stanislaw down for the count. M80 might just be taking an equal score into this halftime. What a turn of events. Grizz still on the wrong side of the map, and JBA, meanwhile, has to wait for his teammate. They'll make a move, but it's pure desperation on. JBA deleted. Just one Grizz. And this Grizzly Bear is looking a little endangered. There's hunters galore. He's mollied himself into Temple, and he's just got to bail. There's no way. There's no world. There's no chance. He's out of time. He's out of chances. We're 6-all knotted up as we head to the half. Into the second half of play here. M80, Wildcard, and M80 with the run back late. It looked like it was getting completely out of hand, but 2 critical rounds to close the half. And now the ball is very much in M80's court.
Oh, yeah. M80, oh. All right. Bit of a match meta coming through here as we wait to get going here with this second half. M80 recovering towards the tail end for sure, so that's good for them to at least make this an even 6-6 scoreline. But you're right, I mean, switching over to the CT side, this is where they feel a lot more comfortable, tend to find the majority of their rounds. As we have a pause here to get everything sorted, and it looks like it finally is. M80 Wildcard. Last time they played, it was a 2-0 in favor of M80, but a wild and crazy Anubis came through, and then they settled it down in Inferno and shut down Wildcard completely. But now they're playing onto Ancient, and this is looking, well, as close as it could possibly get, of course, given that scoreline. Wildcard going to be pushing in on their pistol round. Looks like they're leaning in towards that B site. Smoke going to get tossed for long B. And look at Swisher. He pops out of Jaguar, gets an opener. Wreck once more. He does find one, but traded out immediately. Luckily for him, Slacks is able to make good of it. And then Sin drops another body. JBA, the last one standing. He is now known in terms of his positioning, and he only gets the goosh onto Sin, who manages to escape with his life. This round is probably done, especially considering M80 has the bomb at their feet, Mike.
Look, I'm not willing to count JBA out. I've seen some miracles. I've seen some big moments.
You're not wrong.
If ever there was a moment that they needed him, ooh, dink up onto Mobs. Mobs, you don't have to fight. You don't have to.
Why does he
No one can make you peek. He's trying to stall him out so Slacks can get around for the flank. That's what it is.
Okay.
But Mobs will eventually find the kill. He doesn't need no flank. He just needs the shot from his own USP. Oh, good. That was a team ace as well for M80. Love a team ace in a pistol round.
Can't ever hate a team ace. With everyone getting implicated there for the M80 side, they've retaken the lead here. And on the other end, Wildcard are opting for the force-up despite not getting the bomb plant. They want to try to make it work with the 3 techs and 2 deagles. Utility comes out as well. Slight's going to toss an immediate nade here. They want to gain this space with Jaguar. It's a good idea. Great plan. And Stanislaw executes it to perfection. Also gets himself an upgrade to an MP9. And Wildcard have actually isolated one player on B. That is Swisher. And he's fallen back significantly because he doesn't want to take close range engagements. So kind of playing for retakes at this point. And Wildcard may just deviate away from the B site because there are 2 players that are towards elbow and leaning into A main.
Wreck's about to have his hands full. Wreck is the welcoming party. Looking to book a tour of the A site. Smoke's coming over, though. That's a bit of an early warning. Smoke of his own can come out. Let's see if a rotation comes in to support it as well. Flashbang, not deep enough. Wreck, though, not lining up the kills. TK's gonna help. But they're gonna need that help. This is a lot of trouble now on. Looking for the spam. The flash through! Not successful! It's a low percentage play, and the percentage has not worked in their favor. Swisher with 1. Choke point clear. He just spotted. JBA needs to move. He should know where both players are.
No kit.
But you're right, he's got to go quick. JBA slipping in towards Temple as well. Oh, they're doing a great job of this, keeping him from finding an engagement. He knows. He knows. This one might just be done. Just going to go for the stick. Just going to go for the desperation. But Stan's made enough of a move to keep him off of it. Now with that confirmation, he's going to confirm the round as well.
Wow. Stanislaw standing on his head with the Tech 9, leading by example. A 4K in a force buy without the bomb plant coming through in the pistol. A ballsy call from Wildcard, but those are the types of calls that can make or break a team against a squad like M80. Wow. And they get the upgrades on top of it, an M4 and an MP9. M80's broken in terms of what they can afford, so they're going to have to go for the Force Buy. Let's see if they can return the favor to Wildcard. Rek has the smoke ready. He's going to toss it. He's charging right through. Rek's gone. Deleted. Doesn't even get to do any damage. They are so aggressive with this take that M80 are blinded, smoked, mollied, everything. They cannot gain any ground.
Chris, with that kill, has just locked this in. If there was ever any doubt, certainly not anymore. M80 have to tuck tail, back away. Pull the eject. There's a lot more work to do this out, but I don't know, John. A little magic in the air here. It is starting to feel like the full 4-map series might be a distinct possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to have little thoughts of Anubis creep into my mind, and we set the stage for that one. That could get real spicy.
Oh, it absolutely could. Wildcard were very close the last time to closing out M80 decisively, in fact, before M80 was able to recover. But, I mean, even Wildcard probably thought they could have taken that. And I think when we spoke to Horvey yesterday, he said that he felt like they could take that map and just made a couple of mistakes, unless I'm mistaken in remembering that. But either way, like, they do like their Anubis. They're confident in it. So if we get there, M80, I mean, going to be looking at the possibility of seeing that map advantage not even matter in a BO5. Grizzly just completely drive-bys Melbs, and he's going to walk in towards the A site. Wildcard wasting no time on these anti-force buys and anti-ecos, gaining the space and getting into the faces of M80. This one's already done.
No, there's a gun. Can they get their hands on it? This is a big question. Sonic's coming around to try and make sure that no. But the answer is going to be firmly no. They get their hands on it, immediately taken away.
All right.
A little rap on the knuckles, like they were sneaking phone in class. I can't say I ever actually had that in school, John. I don't know if you did.
A phone?
No, like someone whacking you on the knuckles for messing around with something you weren't supposed to.
Never, no.
Yeah. I did have one substitute teacher who very much threatened to wash all our mouths out with soap at a school. And we were all like, she can't do that,
She can't
right?
do that, yeah.
We're like, no, she definitely can't do that. And then once we'd established that, it was like, all right, threat is gone. Slacks. He's washing their mouths out with ops. And there's a second mouth. Sweet taste of lead. Not so nice on the tongue. Well, this bomb will be planted. Wildcard gonna have to do some work to defend it. They want to fight forward. They know they need to fight forward. Here comes the peek and the swing. What? How they stack this up? Stan is so low. Sonic's behind him, but they're somehow doing this. They can't take a sustained engagement. They can't really brawl at all, but the bomb is planted open. Stan is smoking himself off to set up the Molotov, and it's not quite gonna spread far enough. Those dinky CT incendiaries just will not have enough punch to them. Dang, you did give it a good try, though.
I mean, that's the second time I've seen the incendiaries not have an impact in a post-plant situation in a couple of days. So it's interesting that it's added a new dynamic, and I think teams are going to have to change their lineups as a result when the incendiary is in hand. Wow, this is such a great opener from Slacks, a couple of them in fact, but then Stan and Sonic doing so much damage and making this viable in the post-plant. So again, like, it's M80 winning rounds on their CT side, but it's looking precarious, similar to Dust2. Some of that lack of confidence may be carrying over. Of course, that was a nice play by Stan and Sonic to at least keep hope alive. M80 at least closing the gap to only one round. Malps has already made his way towards lane, stepping into that Molotov. I think he's just trying to bait out a peek by doing that, but it doesn't come through. Wildcard, 4 players heading towards mid. Rex waiting right here. Great flashbang by Slight to help support, and Stan gets another 2. He is on fire here on Ancient. Swisher manages to get one back, but, I mean, they're both on the B site. Luckily for them, it appears as though Wildcard want to head in their direction.
Slacks. Now they've seen the op. Now that they've seen the op, they're continuing to press through. They're thinking, "Ain't no way M80 expect us to peek this again." And they're right. Oh, they have utterly bamboozled M80.
What?
The bomb's going to be planted on towards B. They're so confident. Of course, you've seen the op. Why wouldn't you go A? Actually, JBA hucking a smoke. That definitely is closer to the map than it is on the mini-map. But that has completely sold it. And by the time they realize, it will be too late. The best part was, because of where Slight and JBA were, they heard the footsteps in towards B main. So they realize what M80 thinks, and then they huck this smoke out to hold them in. So it has to be the save for M80. Wildcard on to double digits.
Wow. I mean, just a great play from Wildcard, anticipating that M80 would rotate. Or excuse me, yeah, anticipating M80 would rotate after the op comes through and gets that frag, but it's unbelievable stuff. I mean, they're like 3 moves ahead. It's like a chess game where Wildcard are just winning at every single important turn. 2-round lead gained. I'm just surprised that M80 completely abandoned that B site without just leaving it, like, wait a little bit longer, maybe fall back towards CT instead so that your rotation, your path towards that A site isn't as long. I don't know. There are just so many question marks I have for the way they played that. Anyway, Wildcard doing a great job. They're just going to charge him. Why not? It's worked so many times. Again, they get an easy trade. Malbs comes out, gets one, only one. Slight with the op headshot indeed onto Malbs. 3v3. Sin trying to get back in here. Slight watching towards CT. Sin over the top of the smoke. No, he's actually just hiding in a cheeky spot. So once that smoke fades, he might have an edge. But, I mean, bomb plant, they don't feel comfortable. They might leave.
Eyes on Stanislaw. He's securing so much control here. But hearing this rotation in towards A main, Sin has to be aware that there's the threat in towards mid. He's just missed Stan, though. That's the problem. They clean out Slight. Man advantage found. Slight's being, or Sin rather, is being proactive about this. He could actually catch the bomb coming through the doors. Stan's trying to fight this up, but they've already figured this out. If he catches the bomb, oh, it's all over. It may not matter what Stan does, and he won't be able to take it a step further. M80 survive. These rounds, they ain't comfortable. It is much like the comeback on D2. They are touch and go all the way. But M80 are keeping this tight.
At a certain point, I mean, you have to give credit to the other team for making M80 uncomfortable, and Stanislaw in particular. Like, some of these calls, the rotations, the way they're playing it is so intelligent, and making M80 second-guess themselves so to the point where they're just not sure where they need to be or to go. They do figure it out in the end there, but it felt like Stan was going to bamboozle them once more. Slight going to run right through this Molotov to gain the space in towards top mid, and he hits the shot on Malbs! Wow, Malbs was lined up for that as well, but doesn't happen. Slight getting sprayed down to 20. But the important part here is that Wildcard still have all 5 alive. Jeez.
Jeez, indeed.
I'm just impressed. I'm really impressed with how Wildcard is just playing the mind games to such great effect and using the clock extremely well, never putting themselves in a precarious situation either.
This could be bad, actually. The bomb's still outside of the doors. Oh, Swish has just missed the player in the cubby. He gets the kill, so this equalizes. Takes out their options from Grizz. And seeing nothing more behind it, there might be the read here. Still plenty of time for Wildcard to make their choices. And Rec with just an MP9 pretty far back. There's not a whole lot he could do about this. Spot on the Slight. That probably keeps them from rotating. If they were gigabraining this, they'd see that the op was just on the window and think...
Look at that smoke, too.
He's still just one man. There's the confirmation, but Rec can't get away. He's done damage, but they can't risk this. Misreads on. And this one might have cost them.
Yeah. Smoke thrown. Sells the hit towards B. Slacks was thinking about rotating. The smoke is enough for him to go back to the site. and then it's only Rek with an MP9 in Temple, and there's not much he can do. Fantastic read of the defense from Wildcard once more. Just everything's being called so well on their offensive side. 11-9 will be the scoreline. 2 rounds separating these two teams. And on a map where M80 should look more comfortable and poised, they're not.
Keeping these guns alive is critical, though.
Yeah.
Presumably, at this point, they're going to force around it. This is a strong enough buy, right? You gotta try and risk it. You're not even going to be clean in the next. If this one doesn't work out, then you're playing for overtime. So, time to risk it for the biscuit. Time to make it happen here and now by the strength of your guns. Do or die for M80. Keep this close, or think about Anubis. Wildcard are so close. They just need one more. Mob's tight to the smoke. Oh, they've overlooked him. He gets 2. The third, not quite found, but damage done. JBA painted into a corner and now dropped on down. It's a disaster. They have slammed straight into the brick wall named Mobs. He's been quiet this map. Not up to the standard he set on Inferno or even Dust2. But if this is the moment to come alive, then M80 will be grateful. Still more work to do. There's the op spotted out. Now they know where Slight is at the bomb as well.
I bet you they rotate off it. I mean, there's still so much time. They spot the bomb. They're thinking, okay, let's lean towards the B site. Wildcard wants exactly that to happen, and indeed, they are going to go have a peek towards mid to see what is happening here. Slacks into CT, still has not bit, and there's a shot towards Rek that might pull them back in towards A. Stanislaw being dropped the utility, a flashbang available to him, so he can flash Slight out. Here it comes. Flash thrown. Slight goes up, and Slacks the timing. Shot connects. That should do it for the round. Unless Stan has some magic in store for us. 30 seconds on the clock, Mike.
Oh, the timing! On the unscope, that's brutal. That's brutal. There's still so much work to do. There's still so little time to do it. Stanislaw, though, he's putting the pieces together. Doesn't know that Sin's here. Doesn't know that Sin's here. And Sin will finish this off. Still, that changes the buy into this next round massively.
It does. And it changes the confidence again for M80 because they can't seem to win a clean CT round. It's just not happening. Stan is causing them headaches, whether it be with his calls or his rifle. And he almost manages to make that one work. He just runs out of time on the clock. I mean, if he was...
The timing is brutal here.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Unreal. It's unreal. And I mean, look, if he has 15 seconds instead of 8 seconds left in that situation, maybe he clears out Sin.
Maybe.
Jeez. Just...
Unreasonable.
I'm impressed.
All right, they're half buying into this. There's not a lot here for a wild card, but they're actually betting quite a bit. This is kind of interesting, because at this point, you're kind of half in, you're kind of half out. I don't know that you can necessarily put more around it. No, they're risking it all. They're wagering everything that they've got. It's a little bit of extra cash on Stan, but this could be very explosive indeed. Betting on a bomb plant at the very least. HE early. Not gonna connect. As they stutter step this just a little bit. Sin's gotta be careful. Can't get caught on the reload. They're trying to overwhelm him. He is the object of their intentions. First one found. Second as well. Transfer's good. And Sin holds the line. The IGL, the captain of the squad, does it all himself. Stanislaw alone. Non-starter here. Bomb plant, a distant dream. Damage may not even be possible. Just watching this brilliant map they've called fall by the wayside. And he knows how important this was, how important that bomb plant was.
That's bad. Ooh, that's bad.
It doesn't matter how you win.
Yeah.
Only that you do. An ace for Sin to tie up this game.
I mean, the only thing maybe that went against Wildcard there is that they've tried to pull this off before. It worked the previous time, but M80 likely wise to their tricks. And Sin was just absolutely and totally ready for that. What a spray down, and then the follow-up taps to the heads of both the last two players. My goodness, Wildcard are on an eco now. They've pulled off magic before. M80 can't be too comfortable here. Rek is so far up. Slack supporting him, and now he can get on the back lines. They have no idea he's in here. Slacks continues to connect shots. Rex flicks around to try and find Grizzly and does, and now it's only Slight left standing with a deagle towards the B site. Bomb is lost. This is a 12th for M80, Mike.
Bang on. Unless Slight finds an absolute miracle of play here. This is bang on. Position's actually pretty overzealous. Hold on.
Why'd they leave the bomb? Yeah.
I'm not really sure. They might be thinking that Slight could have hero bought and there'd be something worth taking away from him. That's not going to be the case. Now he's tagged up. Swisher's chasing him off. He never got his hands on that gun. So Slight is just trying to be, I guess, a gremlin here in their midst. Just make it annoying. Find some sort of impact. The player towards Cave will have him dead to rights. And it is going to be 12 for M80. They reach it first. Wow. Battling from behind for so much of this map, and now a chance to end this series, to mark themselves the champions of Season 47 of the ESL Pro, or Challenger League, sorry. Save it for next one.
Mike. Yeah.
That's going to be Season 20 of the ESL Pro League.
Yeah.
Where they'll get a chance, and, well, here's good practice.
Oh, man. You got me dreaming now, Mike, of an NA team in a grand
It's a long
final
time till September, man.
Oh, boy.
And
the great part is...
Stewie 2K can come off the bench after 2.5 years and lift the trophy in Dallas. I think it's time for a little NA magic, baby. Sin,
So.
gonna bring some imported magic, shall we say. Get an opener for the squad. He's in a tough spot. Stan could cause problems. And actually, they've heard Rek rotating off. This is a little weird. They had no idea how far Sonic was forward. Rek's knife out into this. What? Massive oversight.
No
and now Slacks is in so much trouble. His shadow is spotted. I believe Sonic's seen that. He's pressing forward. Yeah, he's got the peek. Goodness. And he might have just ripped this site wide open. Oh, huge kill from Mobs. But the bomb's going to move in towards B. They've completely vacated. And the rotations off have been heard. JBA's selling this. Slight and Stan will be moving in towards B. If JBA can get any further damage, this would be tremendous. There it is. There's the kill. That might have just tipped the scales of this into overtime. Yeah. Bomb's not planted yet. They want to keep the doubt in their minds. Where is this coming from? They have to deal with JBA before they can even think about a retake, and they don't even know. They're just kind of piecing it together now. They've been bamboozled, and JBA, he's getting the last lap every step of the way. We're going to OT.
JBA's been a lot quieter than he was yesterday, honestly, but man, what a round for him. He lurks towards the A site. His only job is to sell the hit, and he already did that so well, making a ton of noise. Util's thrown great. He gets one frag. You're like, okay, JBA, this is more than we asked of you, and says, no, hold on a second, hold my beer. I'm going to go ahead and get the last two as well and keep them on this site. The bomb didn't even need to be planted. That's the craziest part. The bomb barely even gets put down to dirt, and Wildcard take it. That is just how well they've played this map on their T side. M80 are in a bit of trouble as we head to overtime. Good opener from Slacks. Rek gets another one, and oh, Grizz is right there to trade out Sin. Still a 4v3 advantage, but I think M80 are getting frustrated, and they're going for aggressive fights, which is working for them right now.
Yeah, I mean, CT aggression tends to work. You just need a lot of utility behind it. Now that they finally cracked through to overtime, they don't need to worry about that cash. Not nearly as much. But they had their chance to close, man. They had their chance to close. That's got to be gnawing at them. Rek losing track of the mid-spacing. Knife out into his demise.
Jeez, man. That's just, yeah.
Credit on the sock. Brilliant bit of maneuvering. He is great at exploiting those gaps, at finding the feel for when he can move forward. If they make it to Anubis, he deserves a big old pat on the back. A hearty handshake. But for now, Mob's trying to deny him any grace. Damaged up, he'll have to back away. The corner did save his life, but Stanislaw has gained the Jaguar. Timely smoke. Keeps them at bay. Stanislaw dealt with. Up the ramp go Grizz and JBA. A crossfire is what waits for them. Look to try and isolate that. Allow for a plant. Elbow spotted. Swisher down, but the jump out the smoke. Uh-oh. JBA, one more, but he's running out of time. He's running out of chances, but he'll give himself everything. Slacks is nowhere nearby. Rifle picked up, and JBA doesn't know where he's rotating from, but JBA...
Oh, JBA feels like he got this, Mike.
He put them into overtime. He could claim the first round. He should have been dead to rights. But they underestimated him once more. Maneuvering here from Slacks. Slacks has a smoke. He's just going to stick it. Force JBA out on the play. Oh, there's the catch. Savvy bit of play from Slacks. A hand was all he needed to see. And it will be M80 to take the lead first in OT.
Here's the problem again for M80, right? You're in a 3v1. He's planting the bomb in the smoke. Who cares? It's overtime. The bomb means nothing. Let him try to plant it. Look along the edge of the smoke for when he escapes, and then you take him out then. Instead, Malps goes into full-on panic mode and starts spamming it, so all of his bullets are dedicated to that. Look at this. Look at this. And then he runs out of bullets, and JBA gets an easy one, then swings around wreck. You gotta have a little more composure in those situations than usually M80 does. It's very rare that I criticize them for this, but right now, they're losing themselves a little bit. Wildcard are giving them fits and starts, and JBA just barely misses on clutching that out. It's actually a really nice play from Slacks, convincing JBA that he was in the smoke and forcing him to go for a smoke pop. Anyway, here comes that brawl towards the B site again. Incendiary thrown down. And Slack gets the opener. Slacks gets caught out. Nice flashbang from Grizz.
It was an awkward bounce on the Molotov, and unironically, I think that just allowed Slight the opportunity to get that kill. Sometimes it's the little things that make all the difference. Deep A main control being taken, and actually, if Rek goes forward, oh, he's going to have a fight on his hands. Time is going to be really interesting here. There's the first one found. Doesn't expect the second, though. Not aware of that. They might get a little too bold and think Mobs isn't here.
Yeah, they will. I feel it.
JBA, does he clear? He absolutely does.
No way.
This young guy has a world of wisdom. That head on his shoulders. Since a little further forward than they'll expect, but JBA, he just ain't missing. JBA is not missing. He has ascended here at the tail ends of Ancient. And now this looks like an equalizer. And it's all down to JBA.
Oh no, M80's in trouble. They're in trouble. This is the JBA we saw last night, and he gets the 4K on the round. He was so powerful against Nouns. He wasn't held down on any of the maps. And I would say they kind of did a good job on the first two of making sure JBA didn't really activate, but he kind of thrived even towards overtime yesterday, especially in the first overtime that they had. And here it is. It's lighting a fire under him and the rest of his team, powers them to a 13th. And on top of it all, even though M80 is winning those CT rounds, none of them, not a single one, has been done comfortably. They've been threatened every single time, except maybe on that one where there are only pistols from Wildcard coming in. And that doesn't really give you that much confidence anyway.
No, certainly doesn't. Certainly doesn't. Oh, trade there. JBA down for one. It's much like Inferno. That's probably a price you're downright happy to pay.
Yeah.
The ramp progression could be perfectly timed. They've just pulled off of this. They might discount it. And as they slip away, they stack up. Almost on the turn for Grizz, but it's an advantage now for M80. And Wildcard, we've seen them do this again and again. Okay, we lost the bodies here. They're going to rotate.
They do.
We're going to move into the void they leave.
Oh my God.
It's actually the instant read. It's exactly the opposite of your expectation. M80 are always trying to be one step ahead, and Wildcard know it.
This is just figuring out your opponent's tendency. It's like figuring out what a tell is and someone's playing poker with you and not, not letting them know.
Rex
and
here, though.
Immediately abusing it every time.
Did Rex just give up a footstep? That utility's going to confirm that there's presence here. The ramp smoke. Now they move. Does the molly? I think it's a tick too late. He's waiting to see if the bomb plant comes through. He slows this down. Their own Molotov actually keeps Rek alive. Huge play here. Time's getting low. Reinforcements on. He's done a good job of denying the initial bomb plant. They will get the numbers punched in, but now it's Sonic and Slight. Slight strikes first. Trade it out. It's all onto Sonic. He's down to 27. Slacks. Next bullet wins it, but Sonic playing the close angle against the op won't matter. Slacks brings another one through. Advantage for M80 as we swap sides.
And Slacks rubbing it in a little bit, even though it's been very scary rounds here on the CT side for M80, but he does the job in the 1v1, getting the advantage with the AWP and not losing it. So, wow, it just got so close. And again, Wildcard, the perfect read. They know that M80s, they figured out their tendencies. They really did. And it's showing both on Dust2 and right here on Ancient. M80 need to be perhaps a little more patient with the way that they're playing on their CT side and how they're rotating. Anyway, they go back to their T side, so they don't have to worry about that as much. But the problem on their T side was they tunnel visioned it to be far too often, and that led them into quite a few problems for the most part. They like to play the perimeters. They don't necessarily engage towards mid in the early parts of the round. And like Wildcard realized that they're not really putting that Prince presence at mid. Now they have a couple towards Donut, but usually they rotate this off fairly quickly once they don't see anything.
Certainly did in regulation.
Yeah.
Cave control being seeded. A lot of utility was already spent early on, so Stan does not want to get caught in a situation where he's stuck in one of these corners as a molly comes through. He's just been reinforced, actually. Given an incendiary of his own. And maybe we're hoping for some sort of aggression they could punish. Some sort of a fight early. Not going to be the case, but now they'll make their move. Stan flashed up. Kill comes in. And now pressure on for his teammates. Good incendiary. Walks him out for a moment. Might allow the rotations, putting the time pressure on to M80. 40 seconds on the clock. That's half of 80. Let's see if they can still make this firecracker work. 3 players here for the defense. M80 have telegraphed this every step of the way, and they're no longer going to feel good on the rotation. JBA has just dropped the bomb. But the site defender himself is gone. It's on to JBA. He's got to be the hero. He's all alone to keep them off of series point, off of championship point.
Oh my goodness.
JBA delivered so many times. This time, it's not going to happen.
Wow. You never feel like he's out of a round, even in those types of situations. And certainly got the dink, but not the frag on the player playing towards ramp. And then, well, it was all over for him as he came around that corner against the op. So, series point available for M80 twice here in the first overtime. Wildcard, even if they lose here, Mike, honestly, have played an incredible BO5 up to this point. Ancient in particular has been it's been fun to watch. It's been fun to watch all the strategies that Stanislaw has employed, the reads they had against M80, but it may all come to an end right here. Stanislaw getting sprayed down to 13. Grizz wants to go for some aggression. Sin's waiting for it. There's the Molotov and a flashbang thrown. Grizz won't escape. Sin finishes him off, and we already have Stan very low in a similar spot. He has to be careful that Nate tickles him for a little bit of damage, but this may be the end for Wildcard in the grand final.
They're in so much trouble. They're in so much trouble now. Pieces coming off the board. They need a hero. And right now, at least, it feels like on this side of the map, it's going to have to be Slight. Here's the duel. There's the peek. Right into his crosshair. That's what he was waiting for. So numbers equalized. But the health, it's still nervy. And with no mid presence as well, Wildcard at some point are going to have to address this.
I mean...
JBA's holding the line.
Yeah.
I'm actually amazed they're so confident that M80 haven't pushed through.
M80 have hung around the B site very many times so far.
True.
Ancient on their T side, so I understand the patience.
They've been intentional
Yeah.
about their control here. 25 seconds, John.
Yep.
What kind of util do they have left? There's no more mollies.
2 flashes.
That's the last smoke. Here's the flashes. They haven't caught the off. There's the swing. Slight still on the angle. They're trying to get past the lip. They got Stan. Oh, and the jump across Mobs. That's enough to set him up. Now Rex activated. It all falls to JBA. He's found the first piece of the puzzle. He pulled off some ridiculous clutches in regulation. One more required. He's kept him in this. But his grip is weakening. His angle is spotted. He's going to get past the first brush with the op, but he actually has to do it again. And this time, Sin will not miss. M80 are the champions of ESL Challenger League Season 47 here in North America. They have gone all the way through the upper bracket, and they have bested Wildcard once more.
I'm kind of sad we won't get to see Anubis with the way Wildcard played here on Ancient, but I can tell you one thing, future matchups between these